A very warm welcome to the opening match of the 2022 FOSROC Super6 Sprint Series from the home of defending champions Ayrshire Bulls. Tonight they welcome all the way from Edinburgh, Boroughmuir Bears, and the whole match is coming live right here on FreeSports, kick-off less than 15 minutes away. And I'm delighted to welcome Scotland's record point scorer Chris Paterson alongside me. Chris, we're excited about this, aren't we?
We are looking forward to the FOSROC Super6 getting kicked off again. It was a great tournament last year, culminating with Ayrshire Bulls winning obviously at the Dam Health Stadium back in October last year. Boroughmuir Bears played some fantastic stuff, didn't get the results that some of the performances deserved in all honesty. So starting afresh, some familiar faces, some new faces coming in, but it's hopefully going to be an exciting series.
Is there extra pressure on Ayrshire, do you think, because they are defending champions?
I think there is. I think opposition will target that. Opposition also know how tough it is to come here and win. So that, you know, Ayrshire Bulls will take comfort in that. As I said before, they've got quite a settled side. New head coach in Peter Horn, who was assistant coach last year, but you know knows a lot of the players, knows a lot of the systems. So there's some change, but there's also some familiarity. And I think there will be pressure on Ayrshire Bulls, but they should be able to cope with that.
And you mentioned Boroughmuir were involved in some fantastic games. I remember kind of being here last season and just watching Boroughmuir perform so well at times, and other times just weren't able to do that. Yeah,
I mean, they got off to a tremendous start, winning and finishing really well with an excellent performance against Watsonians towards the end of the season. And they really did play some sparkling attacking rugby. At times their skill execution let them down. They maybe tried too hard to play too expansively, but that's their DNA. That's the way that Graham Shield likes the team to play, and I think that's how they'll start this evening.
And two really exciting inside centres tonight. They're kind of head-to-head, which should be very exciting indeed.
Yeah, two players who played really well last year. Tom Jordan, who played a lot of 10 as well, player of the match from standoff position in the final last year. Really good inside centre in terms of attacking the ball at the line, strong, powerful. And Robbie McCallum for Boroughmuir Bears, who was probably the form number 12 last year. Really good with ball in hand, was at the heart of a lot of that good attacking play for Boroughmuir Bears. So those two matching up head to head this evening, we want to watch.
And I guess as well, it's a tough whole kind of time to develop a new season, because they're going to be playing during the spring, and that's fantastic. But they've been preparing sort of in the dark months, and that makes it a little more difficult, I guess.
Yeah, and a lot of these players won't have played a lot of rugby, so maybe we temper expectation a little bit in the opening weekend with just getting back into the speed. They will be fit, of course they'll be fit and strong and powerful, but having not played a lot of rugby recently can sometimes mean players are a little bit rusty, but they won't be thinking like that. That's maybe us making excuses. Hopefully it's going to be fast and furious. It's a short sprint series, it's only 5 games and then a split with the top 3 and the bottom 3, so you have to get off to a good start.
So what do you think is going to be key tonight?
I think just managing mistakes. I know that seems like a negative, but when it is your early season games, when there is a lot of new faces and new combinations, I think being able to take the mistakes in your stride and remedy that in the moment is really important. Of course, we'll think about the big plays, about the tries, but I think being able to manage the expectation and guide yourself around the park is really important. I think Ayrshire Bulls are more experienced than Boroughmuir Bears, but as I said before, it should be an exciting game.
It should be an exciting game. We're looking forward to it. Let's hear from the coaches ahead of this one. I spoke to both of them a little earlier. Pete, first game of the season and defending champions. Is there extra pressure on you?
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's a new group. We've not looked too much into the past. We're purely looking ahead. We're not looking any further ahead than Boroughmuir as well, so I'm just really excited to see the guys get out there and express themselves tonight. And
obviously last season, although you won, you didn't have the best start, so you'd be hoping to go off to a better start you did last time.
Exactly, which takes the pressure off even more. I think we had a pretty ropey start last year before we hit our straps, so again, all that stuff kind of goes out the window at the start of the season. You don't really stress too much about any of it. We just try and get the boys excited, and they're all champing at the bit to get going.
And how excited are you that you're taking over? You were here as assistant coach last year, but now it's your gig.
Yeah, it feels pretty special. I've been really enjoying it. I'm so lucky. We've got a great bunch of guys, really aspirational, brilliant attitudes, just desperate to get better. They come in, they work so hard, and never moan, never complain. So. I'm loving it, to be honest.
And a few of them making their debuts this evening?
Yeah, we've got quite a few guys making debut tonight. There's about 10, I think, in the 23. So, obviously, look, last season, off the back of some success, we lost quite a few guys to pro contracts. Another couple of guys have moved on, so we had to bring in a fair few players. But look, I'm delighted with how well we've done in the recruitment terms. We've got a brilliant bunch of guys coming in to replace them, and it'll be great to see them in the Ayr colours tonight.
We wish you all the best.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
So Graham, first game of the season, I guess you'll be looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's been a tough off season to be fair, but and when with pre-season being in the darker, wetter months, it's been unusual. But I think the guys are keen to get back playing. It's nice to be starting our season now, albeit a bit strange, but really looking forward to tonight.
I guess that's the thing as well. This is, you can be playing the Sprint Series in the spring. Hopefully the weather's going to be getting better. Conditions will be good for open rugby, I guess.
Absolutely. I think the Super6 project has been really great in terms of providing that expansive rugby. I think all the coaches are pretty into it. So I'm sure there will be some really good rugby on show, and then fingers crossed we can get some exciting games played.
And how difficult and tricky was it to have the close season during the colder, wetter months then?
It was difficult in the sense that obviously weather did have a factor in terms of conditions, and you're used to doing your pre-season in nicer condition. I suppose the trade-off is we're going to get a chance to train and play in the summer months, lighter months, and have more time on the pitch during the better weather, which has to be a good thing. And
tell me about the team tonight, because I'm sure there's lots of changes for every team, because you kind of have to lose your squad halfway, at the end of the last season, don't you?
Yeah, so we've got a mixture tonight of new players, which is exciting, and the new players that have come in have settled in really well, and it's been difficult to manage them into the process, but it's been that's been great, and we've got some established players that were with us last season, so it's nice to be able to start building on something with some foundations from last season, but equally we're really excited about the new introductions, and against Ayr on the first game of the season, it's a real challenge, a real test for us, and something to look forward to.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Absolutely something to look forward to. The home match coming up, Ayrshire Bulls against Boroughmuir Bears, here on Free Sports after this short break. Welcome back to Millbrae, home of defending champions Ayrshire Bulls. Tonight they welcome the Boroughmuir Bears here in the opening match of the Sprint Series in the FOSROC Super6. Let's get straight to our commentary team, Chris Paterson and Paul Mitchell.
What a beautiful night in Ayrshire for the start of the Sprint Series. And as Millbrae is revealed in all its glory, both teams join us on the field. Boroughmuir Bears coming to face the home side, the Ayrshire Bulls, to start this wonderful competition. The Ayrshire Bulls, 7 players making their debut in the starting 15. 8 players started the final, which they won. Look out for Blair McPherson, he's a try-scoring machine. And the back partnership of Cam Jones and Matt Minogue at 9 and 10 will be fascinating to watch. We shall see how they develop. Look 2 for Edward Bloodworth, who wears 4, always contributes. 2 sets of brothers for the Boroughmuir Bears, whose new halfback partnership of Rory Swan and Harry Mercer. Young boys, will be interesting to see how they play, and they can rely on Craig Keddy at number 8 to lend in plenty of experience for Graham Shields' side. So those are the teams. Chris Paterson is alongside me. There's a blend of youth and experience coming with Boroughmuir, perhaps more on the youth side than the experience side.
There is, yeah, but in a kind of strange twist, a lot of the youth have a bit of experience as well. Somebody like Gregor Brown in the back row is a fantastic young player, number 6 for Boroughmuir Bears. I'm really looking forward to see him play. He's suffered from injury for the most part this season, really, and he'll be up against his good friend Alex Samuel, who's another fantastic young prospect. He's in the second row for Ayrshire Bulls. They've played together in the Caledonia age grade sides through the 16s and 18s, so it'll be interesting to see those two going head to head. And there's experience here as well with Craig Keddy at captain, and number 8 for Boroughmuir Bears. Was a pivotal player last year, actually, well, for a good number of years for Boroughmuir, but especially in the FOSROC Super6 last year. Just a quality player who brings it all together. You can see him in the middle there, just in the huddle, just passing all the information, keeping everybody calm, waiting just for the kick-off. And then as we wait for Ayrshire Bulls to take the field, Boroughmuir are out early. They've hit a few pads. I don't know if they're being made to wait or they're wanted to come out early, but the Bulls are on their way now.
It's that psychological aspect, isn't it? Just make your opponents wait for a moment or two. But Blair McPherson leads out his Ayr side in the new colours for the season. The white jerseys have been chosen, trimmed with pink. And it's a good looking rugby kit. It's a good contrast on the field of play. And in terms of the Ayrshire Bulls, they've recruited well as well, picking up Andrew Nimmo from Heriots. He'll certainly make a big impact as well. And there's a good battle coming up front. They've got an experience up front with Andrew Nimmo, Alex Maguire and Michael Scott taking on Ross Dunbar. Young Corey Tate, the hooker for the Bears, and Mark McGinley.
Yeah, there's quality on the bench as well. That Ayrshire Bulls bench, Grant Stewart, the full Scotland cap international to come on. So there's experience in both front rows. There's a bit of youth as well. Corey Tate's older brother, Reese, will probably join us in the second half. Another fantastic player. So, as you say, 2 sets of brothers on the Bears side.
Johnny Perriam is our referee, and we are underway thanks to the boot of Harry Mercer. It's just gone 10. It's well taken by Adam Scott, and that will set up the Bears. It's an early penalty, and that's been given by the assistant referee, Gregor Brown, as came in and was crossing at the catch, and that was spotted by the assistant referee.
Yeah, it must have been right from the kick-off, wasn't it? It was Adam Scott who got a good kick from Harry Mercer. It was just before this. I think it's Gregor Brown who's been penalised for crossing. It was quite unusual to see Adam Scott claim that, you know, not under any pressure at all. And Matt Minogue's found a safe touch.
Well, it's what you want as the start of a winger, getting the early touch of the ball. Here's Alex Maguire. And the target was Alex Samuel, but it has been stolen. It's great work by Josh King. There is nowhere to go at the moment for Rory Swan. Craig Keddy goes in, they are in touch. Well, a good moment for Boroughmuir to get the turnover and then unable Chris to actually execute the play away.
Yeah, it was well stolen at the line. It wasn't Alex Samuel's attempt to catch, just got disrupted. Boroughmuir reacted quickest, and then there was an excellent counter attack. Joe Knight, the number 7 from Ayrshire Bulls and Alex Maguire both realised that they'd obviously been turned over and counter-rucked right over the top of the ball and won it back. Good play in the loose by the Bulls.
Ball. Taken to the front this time. The maul is called and it is back with Alex Maguire. Maguire barely holding on. Andrew Nimmo is holding his bind. And it comes out through Cam Jones. Into the centre it goes. Tom Jordan. It's again through the hands of Nye. Cam Jones batted down. Picked up well by Joe Knight. Good contest. But it is the Bulls. As Michael Scott tries to drive forward. Mark McGinley holding up. Here is Matt Minogue playing it through, chasing back Tom Brown. Experienced player Tom Brown, and gets away the kick, but he's not found touch. It's been picked up by Minogue. Minogue just a little bit behind the fullback, Liam McNamara. The Aussie taken to ground. The penalty, not releasing.
Yes. Part of the tackle, have to clear release.
It's an interesting point because not only have you got to release, you've got to be a clear release so the referee knows you've done so, and they were just holding on a little bit too long.
Yeah, it was a good tackle actually. Ewan Ferry with the tackle. I think it's Craig Carey who's he won the turnover, but he's been penalised for not release. It'll be interesting to see that again, whether it was actually part of the initial tackle. It's a tight call against Craig Carey. But that's the key, isn't it? That clear release, making sure you're squeaky clean, especially early on, especially inside your own half.
Just presenting yourself to the referee. That's well taken. Joe Knight gets in and around.
Inside 15. That's one, stop!
Alex Maguire has the ball at the back.
Hey, don't change! Don't change!
It's Craig Carey is right at the back for Boroughmuir. There's been a split.
7 out now.
Two players coming together, release each other. There's Ewan Ferry and Michael Scott.
Okay, use it!
He's been told to use it. He's going to have to get things moving. Does so. Inside onto Minogue. Minogue gets a great pass onto the fullback. Just rushed things too much, Liam McNamara. It was certainly on for Tom Lana on that far side. Now here's the rear guard action. Minogue inside onto Jordan. Penalty again against Boroughmuir.
This guy's got to move.
Well, that's three. Is that 3 or 4 in the row? You're only 4 minutes in. I think it's at least 3 penalties. It's Craig Carey again. Harry Mercer was with the follow-up tackle. He actually got the fly hack in the wing. Great tackle in the midfield. And well, I'm not sure who's penalised. Is it Craig Carey who's over, or is it Harry Mercer? Harry Mercer looked like he made the effort to roll away, and Craig Carey lost his feet. Perhaps it was him who was penalised again. But even if you don't agree with it, you have to listen to the referee. You have to be clear. And I said it a moment ago, especially in your own half.
And the other thing is, because as long as he's doing it to both sides, you've got to learn to live with it.
Yeah, the idea is to get that first player out of there as quick as possible, but gives a clearer picture for the referee.
Alex Samuel takes again the maul, again into the back, and Alex Maguire.
Yeah, wait, no, it's different.
Well, it's split into about 3 different parts. The referee doing well to spot where the ball was. Inside it goes, Tom Jordan. Jordan taken down. Again through the hands of Cam Jones. Keddy in there on the tackle once more. So too was Ewan Ferry. Out to Minogue. Minogue, again he's got the support of McNamara.
On the ball.
Inside again by Cam Jones. Pressure starting to tell. Michael Scott takes it up, little bump and roll.
Ball's there, the ball's there.
Ball's there again out from the scrum half. Jordan has it. Little fake, and on the inside is Joe Knight. That should be the try for the scrum half. Well, he's lost his footing, and Kieran goes in on the far side. He's dropped short, not by much. Sidestepping prop is Andrew Nimmo.
Line.
And again on the line, driving across. And the referee is time off. He has not given the score yet.
Step away, guys. Took away.
Well, I'll try and listen to the referee's communication here.
Clear grounding. I've got held up. Have you got anything different?
I've got nothing to overrule that.
Perfect.
Between held up
No
and no
try,
clear
held up.
grounding, that's not going to count.
Well, there were some big carries, wasn't there? Andrew Nimmo, Michael Scott at forefront. It's Blair McPherson who goes for the line, and if it's Corey Tate gets his right arm underneath that ball, it's a fantastic effort defensively from the young hooker.
Behind the kick, please.
There's just here we're building momentum, weren't we? Each of those carries was an excellent scramble defence from Robbie McCallum that looked as if it stopped the momentum. Cam Jones almost had an opportunity as he picked and went round the left-hand side of the breakdown, but actually lost his footing. So an excellent defence in Boroughmuir.
So the drop out from behind the goal line. Inside it comes on to Minogue. Minogue through the hands now of Tom Glendenning. Glendenning, short in stature, big in heart, comes forward. That was ripped away well by Robbie McCallum.
No advantage, fellas.
Certainly a knock-on. Got out well, Robbie McCallum did rip it away, but he had that effect, Chris, of just knocking the ball on.
Yeah, I said it was Robbie McCallum's tackle just before that in that phase of play that stopped Ayrshire Bulls in their tracks as well. He had a really good season last season in the Super 6. Robbie McCallum, a threat the whole time with ball in hand. You've already seen his defensive prowess. He's a quality player. Hasn't played a huge amount of rugby this season, so he'll be thriving and really excited by this opportunity over the next few weeks. And it's frustratingly for Boroughmuir Bears, they've not had possession. Yeah, the penalty count's gone against them and they'll have to tidy that up, but Ayrshire Bulls have had all the possession and all the territory so far. And, you know, as the away team, Boroughmuir have to look to away to stop that momentum that Ayrshire Bulls are building up.
The scrum comes up. A great play by McPherson to get that through the hands of Cam Jones. Through the centre it goes. Minogue will send it out long. Tom Lanai on that far side. Again, good play. Taking it is Blair McPherson. Again, Jones. That's Andrew Nimmo. The ball is knocked on, and goodness knows what that was, but it might work. Here comes Robbie McCallum. And then it was off to Tom Brown. Corey Tate into contact. Presents it back well.
Advantage over.
Rory Swan was looking for that. It's pulled back well by Ewan Ferry. That's excellent play through the hands of Scott Robson. This is better from Boroughmuir. Rory Swan's looked lively, getting in support. And again, the little offload. He's moving forward as Scott McGinley. Again, Swan on the inside. Taken down was Gregor Brown. Through the hands of the centres, Robson to McCallum. McCallum spots a gap. He's going to be dragged down well by Glendenning. Trying to get inside their opponent's 22 for the first time, but that pass is loose. Tom Brown was grateful that bounced into his arms. Blair McPherson again on the tackle. Ewan Ferry. What a second effort that was from Ewan Ferry. And it comes to the hands of Mercer. That's good counter ruck from Ayr. They almost turned that over. Chomp Jordan just a little short. Ferocious too from Alex Samuel. Ferry again with that little back pass through the hands of Robson. That's going to be flicked across. Here comes Scott McGinley, taken down by Minogue. The Bears have got a man down at the moment. That's Craig Keddy. So they're attacking with 14.
Ball's there.
Swan looks to see where Harry Mercer is. Mercer across onto Martin McGinley.
Leave it, fellas, leave it, leave it.
Swan, lovely little jump through the hands of Mercer. Craig Keddy is back up. Ball is available. This is better rugby from Boroughmuir, Chris, although just on cue they dropped the ball.
Advantage.
So the advantage will be played. It's through Edward Bloodworth.
Advantage over. Was it? Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Advantage
wasn't over. That's gone forward. We'll go back. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, advantage
Come
wasn't
back
over.
Knock on.
It's a long phase of play, wasn't it? You can see the net effect in the players there. There's a few underhands and knees. It was a really good play by Boroughmuir. Really the first
opportunity they've had to attack, and they look so comfortable with ball in hand. Ewan Ferry a couple of times at first receiver, making really good decisions to shift the ball. Jenkins on the left wing making an impact through the pass. Now Robeson in the midfield as well. But Boroughmuir will be happy until that point with just some sustained possession, and they actually looked once or twice as if it had slowed down, and Ayrshire Bulls had managed to slow it down, but still Boroughmuir threatened. You can see the clear shape they want to play with, and it has options all over the park. They were disappointing how it turned over in the end, and credit to the Ayrshire Bulls defence, but you can see that Boroughmuir have that attacking ability.
So it's Cam Jones, played 11 times for the Southern Knights last season, the number 9 now for the Bulls, and the scrum just pops up, so the referee will reset.
First scrum.
Yeah, it's not bad, isn't it? 11 and a half minutes, we'll take that. In terms of, you mentioned it when you spoke to Dougie before the game, there is a little bit of rustiness there, and that's going to be understandable, but how quickly can they cast that off?
It's difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, I think they have played pre-season games. You know, Boroughmuir had a hit out last weekend, or the last 2 weekends. Ayrshire Bulls have been playing the Jersey Reds as well, who are a powerful team in the English Championship. So they have played pre-season games. It's just when it comes to competitive games, it is a different thing. But on the evidence so far, it's less rusty than I thought it was.
On the ball.
There, McNamara with a sidestep. He's an Aussie, played for Australian Sevens, so he's got plenty of pace from the back.
Ball's there. 3 quicker.
Again, through Jones. It's Alex Samuel wrecking his way through the middle. Jones again, out to Minogue. Black scrum cap belongs to Joe Knight. So good tackling as well from Boroughmuir.
There's McCallum again, his opposite number, Thomas Glendon.
Again, Alex Samuel comes calling.
Leave it.
Jones, Scott on the little inside ball to Alex Maguire. Penalty coming.
No more effort.
It's been taken quickly. The scrum half is off. He's still going, he beats 2. The little pass on the outside just goes behind. And Boroughmuir's scrambled defence will be enough. As Tom Lanai tries to attack, he's gone through. The penalty. You could tell quickly, even from our angle, you could tell that they should have gone off their feet.
It's desperation, isn't it? But what a break with that man, Cam Jones. Really, really quick to get away, and he just kept accelerating, beat the front line, and then he just kept getting in behind and kept accelerating. If that pass had gone to hand, I think Lanny would have been in, but Harry Mercer does well to get back, and then because all the momentum's were there and they're piling forward, they go off their feet at the breakdown. It's frustrating for Ayrshire Bulls because that man there, Cam Jones, had sparked something. They actually, the phase before where they'd won their penalty, I thought Ayrshire Bulls actually missed an opportunity to come a bit wider. Boroughmuir Bears were really narrow in defence. They couldn't quite get the ball out, but Jones still made the most of it from the penalty situation.
So in terms of head-to-head meetings between these side, Ayrshire have 104. Games have been decided by 5 points, 10 points, 14. The biggest gap, 23. As Ewan Ferry takes that. I can tell you something, Boroughmuir have got a lot of big players on their bench. They've just walked past us, and boy,
the bench just shook. There's a concrete bench we're in as well, and it still shook.
Well, deliberate knock on.
Offside.
And offside.
We playing in front. That was an excellent effort to try and take it from Lanny, because he tried to catch the ball above his head. I don't know if he lost flight of the ball, but that's such a difficult skill to take that. But credit for going. If he'd done the old traditional thing of waiting until the ball was closer to his breadbasket, he would have lost out that collision in the air, or lost out to the ball in the air, because the Boroughmuir Bears attacker was higher up. So credit for Lanny for trying to catch it in his hands, but the ball was knocked forward and they're offside. So Boroughmuir get another opportunity, I think an important opportunity, to set up camp in Ayrshire Bulls half.
With the law change over the last couple of years, Chris, you know, that more protection for the player in the air. You can get away with that a little bit more. Because also, if you don't get it, but you get taken out.
Yeah, and that's right. I mean, it's in the air, you're in a vulnerable position, so it's only right that we look after the player in the air.
Corey Tate splinters to the side, taken down by Alex Maguire. Swan off onto Ferry, getting some support from Josh King. Swan on the reverse onto Tom Brown. Brown into contact, including Maguire and McPherson. Swan again into Ferry. Well, he's been offloading well. He decided to take it himself on that occasion. And the penalty again. Well, I have to say the referee, Chris, has been very hot on players not getting out the way.
Yeah, you said it earlier on, Paul. As long as consistent it is, it's Alex Sammy who's penalised this time, the tackler, not rolling away. And the idea behind that is so that to clear the area for the referee to have a better visual of what's happening. And then the penalties after this, isn't it? It's Ewan Ferry who carries, who's been really busy and open. There's number 5. Now, you can argue it's hard to get out there, but you have to make an effort and roll left or right as we look at that. You can't just lie there. Now, clever scrum halves like Rory Swan is, they'll alert the referee to that. And he's quite entitled to do so. So making a tackle is important, and then rolling away, clearing that area so the referee can have well, ultimately the players can move the ball away quickly and the ball's clear, but also the referee has a clear picture of the breakdown.
17 minutes in, what we're seeing on the side.
So the opportunity for the first points falls to the boot of Adam Scott, the former GHA player. This should be relatively straightforward, but you always want to make sure it goes through first. First attempt at goal. Oh, that's why you always want to make sure. Comes right back to him, and Adam Scott gathers.
Step.
Well, for all the coaches across the country nodding sagely about why you've got to set up properly to make sure you react first. Should that happen, here come the Bears.
Thanks, Dogs.
It was nicely taken by Robbie McCallum.
You've got penalty
Still the
advantage.
opportunity, penalty advantage coming. Swan on to Keddy. Keddy short the line, but he wasn't held. He was at the second attempt. Boroughmuir will bring it back, driving in Scott McGinley.
No, hold.
Rory Swan just yelling at his side to come round as the props take over. It's the heavy brigade. Still a penalty advantage, so there's work here to do for the Bulls. It remains a penalty advantage. King tried to bring it forward there.
Nine, you've got the
Some
penalty
hard
advantage
hitting still coming with that penalty advantage. It's Ewan Ferry with a little pick up and go that time, trying to break his way through. 2 yards short is Gregor Brown. Oh, this is desperate defending from Bulls. It's another advantage to come.
New advantage. 8's going to the bin, too many infringements.
So McPherson is going to be yellow carded. So this could be perfect for the Bears if they can find the score, and their opponents will go down to 14.
It's patient play, isn't it, from the Bears? And they know that they've got the comfort of the penalty advantage there.
They go in short. And the try is awarded, and the first try comes for Josh King. Bounces the ball down in celebration. The Bears get the first score of the Sprint Series, and Blair McPherson is also going to be yellow carded.
Yeah, good finish by Josh King, wasn't it? It was a concerted effort from Boroughmuir, and we said that from that penalty, the kick to the line maybe about 2 or 3 minutes ago, is an opportunity to keep a hold of the ball, to set up camp in Ayrshire Bulls territory, and they did exactly that. At times I thought it could have gone a little bit wider. It was really hard yards up there, but Ferry to the fore. Gregor Brown made a really important carry that got them on the front foot. Corey Tate's in there. There's Josh King that scored, and after 3 more penalty advantages in that phase leading up to a good advantage from the referee, and 3 more penalties conceded, it's Blair McPherson who's going to be sent to the sin bin, or has been sent to the sin bin for the Ayrshire Blues, and it's a great start for Boroughmuir.
So he hit the post with his first kick, and now Adam Scott with a chance to extend the lead, and he doesn't take that either, so he's 0 for 2. It's not what you want to see from your kicker, but Boroughmuir, I'll tell you what, Graham Shield will be absolutely delighted. They rode the early pressure. There was the try that was held up, and it was good play by Corey Tate, and that is such an influential part of the game now.
Absolutely. There's another look at Adam Scott, just missing the conversion to the left. Exactly that, Paul. Defensively sound, didn't panic, spent a lot of time near their own goal line in the opening 15 minutes, but when they've had the opportunity to attack, they've looked really comfortable with ball in hand and really clinical when they get close to the Ayrshire Bulls line.
No, on the ball, on the ball.
Well, he's on the ball, so Boroughmuir are going to have to try and get that out of there because the ball has been called.
Release.
The knee is now on the ground. It's Tom Brown.
Onside.
It's one of these ones you're fighting to try and get yourself down, aren't you? That looked high. As Michael Scott is down. And he's in trouble for a moment. Quite rightly, the referee will just
your ball. This guy's in the way.
calls time.
Not looking too happy.
Yeah, it was Josh King was carrying, and the tackle came in from Michael Scott very upright. We'll have another look at it here. McGinley moves the pass on.
Take your time, loads of time.
And it's a head knock for Michael Scott. He'll have to get a head injury assessment, I think. And that's, I mean, there's so much written and spoken about protecting the players, and part of that is protecting you as a tackler as well. You know, he's almost protecting. The laws are trying to protect Michael Scott from himself there as well, because the potential for a head knock is greater if both heads are in the same space. But if he's lower, yeah, the ball carrier is protected, but you as a defender are protected from yourself as well. You have to make an effort to get lower.
Yeah, you can see that here. He simply wasn't in position.
I mean, the quick pass from McGinley probably caught him out. It happens pretty quickly, but you've got to get lower than that. You can see exactly what I mean about both heads being in the same space. I'm surprised he's not getting a check.
Well, they are now going to check him. I think the referee presumed that the Ayrshire bench would do that. The physio's been on, and he's communicating with the bench. And actually, the team that's in trouble here is Tom Brown and Boroughmuir Bears. He's down just to the right of your picture.
Yeah, it's Tom Brown that caught the kickoff, didn't he? Had to really wrestle and fight to get that knee to the ground so the tackle could be called.
Awesome, thanks guys, thank you.
Getting back to his feet just at the right hand side of your picture there. The experienced campaigner Tom Brown, Scottish International's fullback. Was, again, another really important player for Boroughmuir Bears last year, not just on the field but off the field with the experience he has. And he's a really quality individual, Tom Brown. He'll help the young players and he'll help everybody at the club, so it's great to see he's back on his feet and taking his position at fullback.
But the first season in 2019, the Bears won 1 of 10 games. Last season, they won 3 of the 10 in the regular season and then beat Heriots in the playoff. Well, they're playing a side that they've struggled against. Here last August, the Bulls beat the Bears by 24 points to 10. It was their first win of the season. And again, the scrum goes down.
Both of you height. Both of you height. Get it up. Too low. Too low. Both of you. Say Mark.
We talk about the psychology of the front row, Chris, but it's not my area of expertise either.
Well, and I certainly know the psychology of it. We can pick out the technical bits, but the psychology, I think it's a whole different ball game in there, isn't it?
It's just interesting with them both trying to go in so low, just trying to outdo each other. I mean, it is such small margins.
Well, it's a combined weight that's going through you. It's not just your body weight that you have to control. It's a weight behind you. It's a weight coming against you. It's a timing element. It's a height element, and a lot of rest on your shoulders. But you know, in the simplest possible form, as low as you can be, I think it's the best position to be in.
Boroughmuir are struggling to get it out, but the ball is there. Craig Keddy picks up. Keddy arrested there by Joe Knight. Ball is available to Swan, and it comes on to Corey Tate. That again looked a little bit on the high side.
It's high from Alice McGuire, I think.
Yep.
Onside.
Again, that's what's difficult for referees. You can't be everywhere and see absolutely everything. Spun in the air by Swan. It was well taken by Bloodworth. And release ping back onto Minogue, the Aussie. Adam Scott just keeps that in.
Green, stop, yeah, stop.
You see the spinning ball in, back onto Matt Minogue. Dropped off onto Liam McNamara, the Aussie partnership. Good tackling from Boroughmuir in very quickly. Michael Scott with a touch and roll. Keddy tries to get over the top. Jones releases it. It's on to Minogue. That's a teasing little ball, difficult one for Scott. He'll be happy to grind it. He's going to be careful. He's lost the try. Elias Cavan has gone in. Well, Adam Scott was trying to let that one bounce to go out. And that's a terrific piece of play from Elias Cavan. And Ayrshire are level.
Oh, it's brilliant speed, isn't it, from Cavan? And he just knew exactly what he was doing. The problem for Adam Scott was he was facing away from what was behind him. You've got to be aware of what's there. And Elias Cavan's a proven try scorer. He's such a good finisher. It comes from a number of kicks, actually. This is his second or third kick from Minogue. It's in behind that defensive line. And for all the money in the world, Adam Scott's there, he is there first until that final moment where Elias Cavan just gets in. You can think of Adam Scott's maybe thinking he doesn't want to give away a goal line dropout. He's maybe expecting the ball to bounce once more and go over the dead ball line, but Cavan's so sharp and gets in and scores a try.
Well, despite the protest of Adam Scott, there was nothing wrong with the grounding there. And the man who scored in the final last season against the Southern Knights get the first try for the Ayrshire Bulls in the Sprint Series.
He's an electric player, isn't he? Yeah, plays, I think last year, I'm right in saying he maybe played sometimes at fullback, he occasionally played in the midfield as well. Devastating with ball in hand, his sidestep and his power, but his pace there and just the will to get to the ball. Adam Scott, I think must have been hoping that it was going to take an extra roll, but you can't take that risk, especially when you're not aware of what's behind you, and Cavan did really well.
So here's Matt Minogue. His first effort at the sticks. Caught that well. Well, when you're an Aussie called Minogue, you can be guaranteed that your nickname is Kylie. And he pops that between the posts to give the Bulls the lead.
I thought you were going to say Danny.
That must be his brother.
Yeah, this is where Boroughmuir Bears as a away team have to kind of galvanise, because they've done really well to hold Ayrshire Bulls out early on, and that's a reasonably soft try, so they have to get back to being strong defensively, but you can see the threat that Ayrshire Bulls have as well. It's a cracking opening 25 minutes to this game.
Alex Maguire. Back from Jones.
Hold 9, hold.
On to Minogue.
Yeah, on 9.
We also should point out it's always great when you score,
Really backwards.
when you're down a player.
Always inside.
Keddy
Always in.
pulls that back. So away by McCallum. Minogue lets it run.
Well, that's a good kick for Tom Brown, isn't it? Good worker. I thought Minogue would probably have covered that. I think that the flight kind of beat him initially, and then the bounce beat him thereafter. He's conceded a bit of yards with an excellent kick from Tom Brown after Keddy had covered the kick again into that bottom left-hand corner from Minogue. Keddy covered it well eventually, and Tom Brown cleared the lines.
Wasn't far away from a 50-22 to be
That's
honest.
what I was thinking. Yeah, it just kept running, didn't it? There, I think Minogue initially thought he had it, and the ball kind of drew in field and then kicked on and on and on. And
You get to carry on.
2 metres. It would have been a 50-22. Therefore, it would have been Boroughmuir Bears throwing. Another injury. I think McGinley's getting a little bit of treatment.
Okay,
He's back to his feet.
I think you get to carry on. I've got a treatment.
Gregor Brown as well.
Yeah, no bother. Give you time.
Gregor Brown, such an influential player. And getting the chance, he's 20 years old, the back row player, 6'4". He's a real presence. I mean, you could pick certain players, you know, players who are coming in for the first time to play. We mentioned, there's 15 players making their debuts for the respective sides. You want to lay down a marker, you want to prove to the coach that he made the right call about bringing you in. So there's a lot of pent-up energy out there.
There is, and it's a sprint series. Obviously, the full championship, or the full number of games will be played later on in the season as well, starting the end of July, and that August window same as last year. So this is a 5-game series, and then there's a split between the top 3 and bottom 3. So 7 games. You want to hit the ground running as well. You won't get too many opportunities because of the depth of the squad and the quality of the squad that these teams have. So you want to hit the ground running, and all the players are trying to put that marker down right away.
Alex Samuel doing well at the line out once more. Here comes Jones, tries to throw the dummy. There's the little back flick. Here's Cavan moving forward. He's going for the chip kick. He has got pace. Scott will not get fooled again. Tries to turn inside. He's taken down by Jones and Cavan.
Move now here.
Needs to try and turn.
Use it.
Boroughmuir struggled to get players back. Harry Mercer trying to get back in position.
And move 2.
And you can see the figure of Tom
Use it,
Jordan
9.
up against Harry Mercer. It looked
Onside,
like a mismatch.
onside.
Well, Boroughmuir's standoff is within their pack. So Swanson plays to try and get that one away. And there's afters here.
Fellas.
That's Bloodworth is one.
Step
Then
away.
Samuel
Fellas,
goes
step
in as
away.
well. The black tape is Lewis McNamara with a headband.
Move away.
Yeah, there was someone off the ball, just
away.
almost in the front of the ruck that the ball was cleared for.
Put your arms
I
down.
don't think it'll come to very much in there at all.
Put your arms down.
As the Rocky theme tune kicks off, the ball boys are giving us a proper
away.
display as to
Move away, please. Not yet, mate. Just wait.
what's meant to
Move
happen.
away,
But
please.
good play from
Could you move
Ayrshire
away,
Bulls again. Cam Jones knowing exactly where the space is, taking on down that short side. A brilliant behind the back pass to Cavan, who got a little bit fortunate with the kind of deflection at his hands, but he's so electric, Cavan, isn't he? And then both players did really well here from Ayrshire Bulls to release the tackle, then get it back onto the ball, not to give away a cheap penalty.
Who's going to do the talking? We weren't going to have any nonsense like this. You've not played for a long time. I suspect if you wanted to have a play, not just come and have a wee scrap. Okay? Go and have a word with your teams. If anyone complains, whines, raises arms, they'll get penalised going forward. Okay? We don't need it. We'll play it properly. Thank you. Have a chat.
Well, 28 minutes into the new season for these players. They've had their first warning.
Air ball there, yeah.
It's taken a while. Change made as well. Duncan Munn
On you, yeah.
comes off.
I think they've done the
It's difficult for the referee as well. You're trying to get the tone right. I mean, these guys know what they've done. I mean,
Okay, time is on.
the
Air
naughty
ball,
schoolboy
line out.
stuff doesn't work. They know they've got involved. They shouldn't have been.
And the good thing is there's not a huge amount in it, and there shouldn't be a amount in it. There's enough physicality in the game. There's enough to focus in the game, but players don't want to back down, do they? Want to hold on for a few seconds.
Inside
It's a good
15.
try from the Bulls.
14-man here against 50-man Boroughmuir.
Don't change, 8. Don't
The
change.
skipper Blair McPherson waits to come on. His 10 minutes are nearly served.
Use now.
Jones on to Minogue. Minogue, that
Backwards.
comes off of Glendinning. Now the hack kick through. And you can see Lanning goes back. Actually took that pretty well. Glendinning goes in.
Well, it's a great
Nine
result
minute
for
ball.
Boroughmuir Bears that, because I actually thought the Ayrshire Bulls' initial
First man,
drive at the
hold
line was excellent. They drove infield,
No,
opening
no.
up that short side just to the left, but they chose to go into the midfield, and Glendinning
Isolated
couldn't
player,
quite hold the
first man on
ball. And from the fly hack, Boroughmuir Bears piling forward. I think that Ayrshire Bulls are penalised for coming in at the side here, and the penalty win 30 yards further up the field for the Bears is well done. Back to the position where, well, almost the position where Boroughmuir
Absolutely, mate.
launched their first try from a line out on the far side of the field.
Well, Blair McPherson returns to the field of play. The skipper, number 8, played in 10 of 11 from the start last season, featured in all 11 games. He's long and over the top. That's a terrific take from Mark McGinley.
Use.
Ball falling over his shoulder, he just grabbed it out there.
I think it's a sign of it wasn't quite straight,
Not on the
but
ball. The ball's there.
excellent ability to take it from McGinley.
Swan. Little offload again.
Tackle now.
Josh King trying to go in support again of Ewan Ferry has been key. There he is. Through the hands of Mercer. And the penalty will come. Coming in from the side again.
Yeah, in for the side, and I think Gregor Brown lost his feet as well.
6. Side.
Yeah, it's not desperation, but it's just Boroughmuir Bears got a little bit isolated. The pass from Mercer was quite wide, and the Ayrshire Bulls defence was really flat coming up, and was it Robeson
You gonna take it?
who carried? It was McGinley who carried just in his own. You can see Gregor Brown coming in from the side. He has to make an effort to come in from almost his own goal line, his old try line.
Not seen too much of Scott Robeson so far. Robbie McCallum's had a couple of good carries breaking out.
That's fine. Time's off. He's in the way.
Time is off. As Joe Knight is the player who's down.
He's been busy, Joe Knight, and 2 or 3 different facets of the game in terms of defensively in and around the breakdown. He's obviously an out-and-out number 7, good over the ball, good around the ruck. I'm not sure if it was him that was cleared out in that challenge or not, if it's a different injury, but he's been busy in the opening 30 minutes or so on the open side.
It's been an interesting contest thus far. Boroughmuir getting themselves ahead. Just 22 tries in their 10 regular season games last term, up against the Ayrshire Bulls, who at times score tries for fun.
Staying on, I'll let you treat. If you think he's off anyway, we'll do it.
Well, they're going to have to make a decision here. about Joe Knight.
Thank you guys, cheers.
Just checks that he's okay.
Okay, time on.
And he just limps back into play. Well, Ayr wearing the new white and pink kit, a new multi-year deal signed by their kit sponsor. So it's been going well off the field as well for them.
Line, please, thank you. Line.
Yeah, it's a good kick again from Minogue as well, this time from a dead ball situation. And you can see the kind of slow, deliberate walk to the line out from the Ayrshire Bulls. And I assume this will be caught and driven.
Maguire's throw taken well by Bloodworth.
Hold.
25-year-old Englishman doing well. It's Maguire at the back. Oh, there's a little bit of space for him as well. He could go all the way. Little pass on the inside. And Cam Jones was up in support. And Ayrshire Bulls have their second try. And it was terrifically done. And Cam Jones in great support of Alex Maguire. And just like that, the Bears were undone.
Well, there's a couple of really good pieces of play. An excellent drive initially from the Bulls, and then Alex Maguire, he's in control of the ball at the back of the maul there. The space opens up right up the middle. He takes it. Watch this for Ian offloading via pickup from Cam Jones. Just in there, and then the presence of mind to, in the tackle, dot the ball down. Excellent piece of play from the hooker, identifying the space and then accelerating through it. If he doesn't commit to that, he gets caught just there, but he gets away from the first defender. And then that offload on the left hand to Cam Jones, who's been really, really sharp so far in the first 30-odd minutes. Cam Jones, the number 9, has been involved in the breaks 2 or 3 occasions, and now he's got his first try of the season.
Matt Minogue has got the opportunity to extend the lead. Beautiful ground this at Millbrae. Picturesque setting. There's that one. Curls in nicely. Well, they were 5-0 down. They've now scored 2 tries. 2 converted tries unanswered. And it's the Bulls who lead the Bears.
Yeah, their line-out looks good, doesn't it? The line-out maul just before that, when actually dropping the midfield, looked really strong from the Bulls as well. And that time set the platform for Maguire and Jones to break free.
The ball's available.
King does well. Out it comes on to Gregor Brown. Brown looking to drive on. Not moving away. It was the shout from the Boroughmuir bench. On their side have the ball.
Well done too, good
Swan.
work.
On to Ferry. Ferry gets some support from McGinley.
The ball's there, it's at the side.
Ball is available.
The ball's there. It's Boroughmuir's man.
Swan. He's just trying to lift and come through the middle. Boroughmuir organised. They've got players out to the left-hand side.
Yeah, lifted, lifted.
Swan just tried to curl around the corner.
Ball was lifted.
Trying to go through a gate that wasn't open. Keddy. A little flick ball off.
Tackle!
Mercer to Scott. Back inside through the hands of Keddy.
Ball's there.
Mercer with a quick release.
Ball's there. No, no.
Mercer just scoops it off the toes. That comes out onto Robson. Robson trying to find the gap. Good support from Jenkins. The ball is out.
Ball was out, lifted.
It was stolen initially. That might have come back on the Boroughmuir side though. Keddy with Scott beside him. Will flick it slightly further out.
Ball's there. Nowhere, leave it.
Swan onto the inside. That's Gregor Brown with a scrum cap. Taken down by McPherson. Mercer will drop ball off.
Tackle!
Think was in the midfield. It's dropped down. Swan goes to a little kick through. It's an awkward one, but it was dealt with in the end by Liam McNamara. That's a pretty good clearing kick, Chris Paterson.
It's excellent because he had to turn round onto the kick and then kick over his shoulder. A really good clearance up to almost halfway. and you can understand why the kick came through from Boroughmuir, because anything through at the Ayrshire Bulls defence, it was stopped. And I'm able to, on a few occasions, slow the possession down as well, trying to hold that attacker up. So the kick comes through, but then McNamara just kind of spun and just cleared it off his left foot 40 metres up the field.
Tom Lanny is getting some treatment.
The ball's at the back and we're playing it. It doesn't look like an issue for me.
Only one start last season, that was away at Watsonians, but he gets the nod on opening day of the Sprint Series. It's a big afternoon or early evening for Harry Mercer as well. I mean, the young man who is former St Leonard's head boy, first under-16 player from that school, currently at Durham University, and he gets the chance to play at 10.
Yeah, and he's, I remember coming through some of the age grade system as well.
Hold on, time's still
Really
up.
tall. Even I'm guessing. I don't know if you've got the statistics here, but it must be 6'2", 6'3" at least. And at a young age, he didn't look like a standoff, but he knew the game and he was excellent. His passing, his distribution was excellent. You can see now that he is very comfortable on the ball, and it's a big step for these players at such a young age, coming in and playing such a pivotal position. But he's got the threat because his size and his physicality to take on the line as well. Good young player.
He didn't play in the warm-up game last week. He was unavailable, so it's the first start for him. Well taken in by Ferry. Now it comes on to Mercer. Mercer lays it off. On to Gregor Brown. Swan. McCallum. There's the quick hands, but again the pass behind, and Cavan almost gets away. Scott has to recover, and he's going to be taken out of play. Tom Jordan was up very, very quickly.
Can't take it in front of the mark anyway, so there's not an issue. Got to take it behind the
It's
mark.
just it was actually Harry Mercer's pass who went to ground, but it was so close to being excellent. He's trying to do that blind pass for the player. This will be a great angle to see. He's almost just lifting the pass into the space there. It's just the timing between him and Jenkins. It's wrong. But you can see the space it created and trying to execute, and then again Cavan so sharp. Tom Jordan reacted to the mistake and pressurised Boroughmuir once again.
Good contest for the ball. Bloodworth won it, has got it back. Here's Maguire, who's pushed forward, that time by McNamara. Comes back out onto Jordan. Minogue, Glendinning was arrested in midfield. And the penalty will come.
First man.
It's the first man off his feet, was it?
Yeah, first man coming in wrongly.
Clear release back on the ball.
There's so many. It's so difficult for the referees in and around his breakdowns. Glendinning there was in a powerful position. And then, yeah, it was, I'm not sure who it was, the Boroughmuir Bears player who was over the top of the ball. Made an effort to lift the ball, that's why rewarded. He's not just there stopping Ayrshire Bulls continuing to play, he's actually making an effort to lift the ball in first. And won the penalty. It's an important penalty for Boroughmuir.
Half time just a couple of minutes away, they don't want to lose any further points.
I'll give you plenty of time.
So the Bears last season won their first game, 15-13 against Heriots, although Heriots missed a late kick at the death to win it. As Ewan Ferry took it down, but it was not straight.
The way out there.
And we will have a scrum to end the half.
These are always interesting decisions for the Ayrshire Bulls in this instance. So close to half-time. It's actually a really good opportunity to put your stamp on the game, because of what you call the championship minutes, just the minutes just before and just after half-time. Some teams will have a mentality to be happy at 14-5 up, just to kind of play the last few seconds before the end of the half. But I'm a big believer in trying to really assert dominance in the game, and this is an excellent attacking position for Ayrshire Bulls. If we see that right-hand side of the space there, they can attack the scrum, and they've got quality backline to the left. So I think the mindset, and I'm sure it will be, but the mindset from Ayrshire Bulls will be, let's take this opportunity 90 seconds before the half to really stamp the authority in this game.
Set!
Well, Ayrshire thought they were going to get the free kick there for the early engagement. I was confident there from Cam Jones just to pop the ball away, but the referee doesn't give them the benefit of the doubt.
And that's kind of the mindset I was on about. It's a lot of teams will scrum for a penalty, and this is maybe not so much at Super 6, but say at professional, international level, you often see the outcome, the desired outcome, a penalty from a scrum. I much prefer a real attacking mindset just before, as we go in the final minute now before half-time. It relies on the scrum being stable, obviously, but you can really apply pressure here by having a real attacking mindset.
He gets the ball in and the penalty will come, but it'll be won by the Bears. That's a big moment for them. I just thought Ayrshire just took a little bit long to get that in. Michael Scott being told to move away. And you've got to give credit here to the visiting pack.
Yeah, it's Martin McGinley that right-hand side, isn't it?
One, elbow down.
It's Andrew Nimmo's elbow. It's at the ground, is it? Ross Dunbar there as well, and shot. A smile on his face, he enjoyed that.
Thank you. Beautiful.
And now,
You can apply the same
I was going to
here.
just about to say, yeah, you swing it round. How brave are Boroughmuir going to be here?
Well, they have looked good when they've had ball in hand, especially from that position. Again, there's a slow, deliberate walk here to the line. The first thing is to get the line out right. But, you know, pivotal moments in the context of the game, just before and just after half-time, are really important to get right.
Ross Dunbar gives a signal in to Corey Tate on his debut. Taken well by Ewan Ferry. And now the movement. Here's McCallum. McCallum up to the 22. Boroughmuir looking to finish the half with a flourish. Here though, I think have buckled this.
Use it!
And they've done so. And Minogue, they're not going to hold back either. They're going to go for it. Trying to race outside their own half. It's Tom Jordan. This is excellent. Matt Minogue taken down well.
Penalty advantage. 9, you've got penalty advantage.
Penalty
Offside.
advantage with Ayrshire Bulls. The
Offside.
Boroughmuir Bears are offside. Well, they're having a go at Tom Jordan just with a little offload. There's Andrew Nimmo with that little turn and move again. There's a little gap for Alex Samuel to chase through.
Advantage is over.
Advantage is over. Here's Tom Jordan. Jordan trying to break his way. Blair McPherson spent 10 minutes on the sin bin. Maguire trying to lend some support. There's Andrew Nimmo wearing one. Great counter ruck though, although the ball will break the way. Oh, the Ayrshire Bulls counter ruck again, coming in and driving off feet. And the penalty is given.
It's so messy. So messy, the breakdown. Both sides counter ruck in particular way, actually. It means the ball's exposed, and then it means it's so fractured to whether stay on your feet or go down. And that was the initial turnover from the counter ruck. And as Budworth tries to present, Boroughmuir drive over again and have a penalty. But Tom Jordan was involved 2 or 3 occasions there. The Ayrshire Bulls number 12.
2, off feet, stay up.
And there's a penalty for Minogue. And how aggressive does he become with this kick to touch? And these are ones that you can almost risk forcing, like go to the extreme, really try and pilot it right into the corner to give yourself a chance, and it's not a bad effort.
Yeah, he's taken it about 4 or 5 metres perhaps inside the 22, so there is an opportunity. It's the half that doesn't want to end.
Enjoyed it so much.
It's good.
This is, we said before, wasn't it, how impressive the Ayrshire Bulls maul, the line-up maul was looking. Obviously set the platform for Jones's try, the second try, the score of the evening. I think we'll see something similar here.
Oh, it's a long throw over the top. It's then knocked on, and that will bring the half to a close. Well, both teams with the opportunity to find points just before the interval. It was the Boroughmuir Bears who opened the scoring with a try from Josh King on his Bears debut. Elias Caven with the equalising try, converted by Matt Minogue, and then with 8 minutes to play, a lovely piece of interchange. Maguire and Jones led to the second try for the Ayrshire Bulls. That was converted, and that's why the half-time here at Millbrae, we have the half-time scoreline. The Ayrshire Bulls 14, the Boroughmuir Bears 5.
Welcome back to Millbrae. Ayrshire Bulls have the advantage by 14 points to 5 after 40 minutes of exciting rugby, I reckon, yes?
Very good, yeah. Quite a cagey start. I thought the Ayrshire Bulls probably started better in terms of attack, possession, territory. They were winning the penalty count, but Boroughmuir Bears really defensively held out. They were on the ropes at times, but it shows the spirit and desire they had. They held them out and then went up the other side and scored the first try. Ayrshire Bulls have hit back obviously with 2 tries of their own, but it's less scrappy than we thought it would be. You know, early season games players haven't played a lot of rugby of late. We thought there may be one or two more mistakes, but it's been proper entertainment for the first 40 minutes.
The first try came from Josh King making his debut for the Bears, and well taken. They deserved it at the time. They were putting pressure on, weren't they?
Yeah, there was loads of pressure. I mean, before this, Boroughmuir really hadn't had much possession, certainly had no territory, and then it was just a slow build up. Pick and goes. Gregor Brown had a carry that made 2 or 3 extra metres that got Boroughmuir Bears on the front foot, and then there's patience and there's understanding, and the players have to understand who's carrying, who's clearing. The clearing players have to stay on their feet. Ayrshire Bulls were under pressure. They conceded 3 penalties, I think, alone in this phase. It resulted in Blair McPherson being yellow carded as well, so it was a double whammy against the home side. But it was Josh King, there's a celebration, slamming the ball down into the ground. He was the last player to pick and go with the support players behind him, Gregor Brown as well, and there Craig Keddy driving them over. And that was the opening try, the opening points of the match, and Boroughmuir Bears probably deserved that because of their desire, firstly, in defence, and then secondly, that controlled, cohesive attack was really their first attack, and they got the early points.
We're seeing it again, right after the build-up. It was a lot of, you can see the Ayrshire Bulls' defensive kind of effort there, but a big, decisive, and Josh King was delighted with the try. But Bulls, they kind of they struck back, didn't they? And it was a good try and a nice sort of kick through. And you got to feel sorry for Boroughmuir's defence there.
Yeah, Adam Scott. You know, it was actually 2 or 3 kicks before that from Minogue. He found this bottom left-hand corner to apply pressure. Boroughmuir Bears didn't kick out, the ball was kept in the field, and from the counter-attack, Minogue puts the kick through again. Now, it actually looks as if the kick's just a little bit heavy, and I think that's what Adam Scott thinks. The ball comes through from Minogue, and Adam Scott's in a good position. He turns, but Elias Caven's absolutely flying behind him. Adam Scott, I think, is hoping that ball rolls another metre and it goes dead in your back for the scrum, or maybe he didn't want to touch it down to concede the goal line dropout. But Caven didn't give him that opportunity. He flew through so quick and powerful. It was Tom Jordan at the break at the midfield. They come back down the short side, and when this kick goes through, you think Boroughmuir Bears have it covered. There was some dubiety, I think, from some of the Boroughmuir players about the grounding, but from where we were sitting, it looked absolutely fine. But just so sharp, Caven with a try, with a celebration, and he was such a threat last year with ball in hand, and he started this season with a good try as well.
Well, this is the best angle coming up here. It's the angle I'm standing at during the game, and I turned around and watched this, and Caven came through. He was like a train, wasn't he? And there's no doubt about it.
Just accelerated.
Absolutely, great accelerated.
Accelerated towards the ball, yeah. and took advantage of the kind of the moment that Adam Scott was making his decision in as to whether to touch the ball and be safe or leave it. And this is a great angle here. Just flies in, accelerates towards the ball. And gets the first try for the Bulls.
Yes, some of the guys at Boroughmuir weren't happy. They thought he'd knocked it on, but he hadn't knocked it on. It was a good grounding and a good try as well. And then, Ayrshire, I guess they turned the screw a little bit.
Yeah, they started to get a bit more control of the game. I think their line out and the line at maul was working for them. 1 or 2 times they got closer to the goal line. It didn't reward them a try, but this was slightly later on in the half. Again, you can see that maul getting set up really well. The line-out was working well. The maul's going forward, and the space just opens up for Maguire right up the middle of the maul, and he takes it, accelerates through, and then there's a great presence of mind and skill to offload to Cam Jones, who's been really impressive. The scrum half, moved to Ayrshire Bulls from Southern Knights last year, and the support line is excellent, and then the ability to pick up the offload from Maguire, which was a quality pass, and then the finish, he gets hit in the tackle. Cam Jones there is spinning almost away from the try line, but has the awareness and the power and the strength to dot it down. It was an important try, an important time, and it stretched the Ayrshire Bulls lead.
Absolutely, and always great to see the hooker offloading like this, because so many hookers in the past you've seen just pin the ears back and they get stopped before the line, but that was a fantastic stuff.
It was to identify the space, accelerate through, and then under the pressure of the tackle get that offload away. So it was, I think Ayrshire Bulls are worth their lead at half time, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half. They've both got depth of squad. I think we'll see some changes in both sides to allow players game time. So we look forward to another 40 minutes.
Got a wee bit scrappy towards the end of the first half there because it's the first time they played. But after a cup of tea at half time, we're expecting more excitement in the second.
As if nobody wanted to finish that half, wasn't it? It was penalty after penalty, and we spoke in commentary about trying to take advantage of those key moments just before half time. You can influence what's said at half time. You can influence the game in terms of striking just before half time. Neither team managed to do that, either through desperation or ill discipline. So there'll be key messages from the coaches at half time, but the game's certainly in the balance.
Certainly in the balance. Big second half coming up after this short break.
Welcome back to Ayrshire. Millbrae, the home of the Ayrshire Bulls, in the opening match of the FOSROC Super6 Sprint Series. It's been a really good first half. The home side fell behind, now lead by 14 points to 5. They survived the yellow card. In fact, they scored one of their tries when they had their skipper Blair McPherson in the bin. And they get ready to get us underway once more. Matt Minogue. 10 players moved on from the Ayrshire Bulls, including Gavin Law and Matt Davidson to Scotland Sevens. So Pete Horn in his first full season in charge. A little bit of a squad rebuild. As Boroughmuir have done well to turn that over. And Rory Swan goes to the long high ball. Chasing back on that first. It's a really difficult one for the fullback. He's forced over his own line. Liam McNamara. Certainly carried over. It's a scrum 5, and what a start it is for the men from Boroughmuir.
It's almost role reversal, isn't it? It's important to the kicking game, and not only the kicking game, but a good chase. Swan with a kick, deliberately kicks at the top of the ball to get a top spinning away into that corner, and then McNamara had to make the decision that time as to whether to play it or leave it. And the chase was excellent from Duncan Munn. And it's exactly what Boroughmuir Bears would have wanted. Field position. And the feed to the scrum 5 metres out.
So Brandon Sweet has been introduced to the action. And a change at half time.
Bind.
So the scrum down.
Set.
Hamish Bain on for Craig Keddy as well, that confirmed. There is Hamish Bain at the back. And that just squirted out from the side.
No, I can't reward that, it's sideways.
And they just certainly couldn't hold on to it.
He's just crabbing sideways, wasn't it? I mean,
there's no one to reward.
You can't tell who's dominant there. It's just too lateral, so we'll do it all again.
Well, Hamish Bain is on.
In the second row, yeah.
Yep. Craig Keddy is still on the field.
I think Ewan Ferry's maybe gone to blind side. And Hamish Bain in the second row. Hamish Bain, Glasgow Warriors pro, who actually came through the Edinburgh Academy system.
Crouch.
So changes made at half time. And Scrum comes up again.
Fellas, the setup was good on that last one. Here we go.
Setup was fine on the last
Quick
one, got to
reset.
get it right this time.
The setup was good on the first one. Quick reset, please. Let's go.
The setup was good. I'm not sure the outcome was good because it ended up in touch. There you go.
You're going to be a referee and a primary school teacher. Now that was very good, but this is what we want next
Room for
time.
improvement.
Yep.
It's a good opportunity for Boroughmuir Bears, and this is where if they get that right hand side up the right shoulder, it opens up that 5 metre blind side, makes it difficult for the Bulls to defend.
And it comes from Swan. Keddy with the pickup, immediately dumped to the ground by Jones. Keddy again, a key man. Ball is available. Keddy. Bloodworth up quickly. And there is Hamish Bain. Dragged to the ground.
Leave it! Ball's there. Onside.
Well, they got players lining up.
Seven, move! Craig, the ball's there, don't milk it. No, don't milk it, the ball's there.
Waiting for it at the back. Corey Tate. Again, the push forward.
Onside.
Well, it's keeping it very tight. The
No,
Bears
six, no!
have got the opportunity to move this. Scott McGinley wants it. Here comes the penalty advantage. That changes everything, and there is the penalty because the ball wasn't being moved quickly enough.
Yeah, it's the same again. It's Michael Scott is penalised for not rolling away.
Has to move.
He has to move there. Blair McPherson actually did a really good job of driving. I think it was Corey Tate who
On
ticked
the wrong side. Got to move.
back towards his own line. But Michael Scott there, see the number 3, he's too comfortable. He has to get out of there. He's almost rolling into that position. And he's gone quickly.
It's been taken quickly. They were short. They thought they touched the base of the post. They're going to try and come again. And the try is given. So many bodies around there, but it's the skipper who goes in. Craig Keddy, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Bear, and Boroughmuir with a perfect start to the second half.
Yeah, it's Craig Keddy leading by example, the skipper, and I'm not sure who it was that took the quick tap, but it's really quick thinking. And Bloodworth is getting a bit of treatment. I think he was involved in one of the tackles, but it's another example of how dangerous it is to give away penalties so close to the line. That was it, the quick tap.
If you want, yeah, if you're happy.
And then Keddy just picks up and pops it down at the base of the post. It's a perfect start to the second half for the Boroughmuir Bears.
Good work by our camera team picking that up because there was bodies everywhere. And then they went in the celebration.
I think it was maybe Ewan Ferry who went quickly with an initial tap. And we may have a break here as Bloodworth takes some treatment.
So 14 points to 12 as Adam Scott successful with a conversion. That's his first kick successful.
I'm still off, guys, till he's all right.
And you think there's so much spoken and written about the kicking game in rugby as well, and it was that, and we'll have a look at Adam Scott chipping over the conversion, but the kick from Swan that put the pressure on to Ayrshire Bulls in that bottom corner. It shows you how effective, if you've a quality kick with a quality chase, it can give you proper field position. There's so much aimless kicking in the game, but when you get good kicks with good chase, it really does set up perfect opportunity to strike. And Boroughmuir Bears did exactly what they had to do and needed to do. Get those points in the second half from that good field position from the kick from Swan.
So time is off at the moment. It will take a while just to get things going again. The physios are the busiest players at the moment. Jack Fisher is being called into action for the Boroughmuir Bears.
He's still down over there, so we're just going to hold.
So Ewan Ferry is the man who's come off. He looks a little bit dazed. They'll just take care of him and make sure all is okay.
He's been really impressive this evening, Ewan Ferry. And we spoke about him quite a few occasions in the first half, really, and his ability to either shift the ball, pass it, attack, carry. So not only has his skill been good in terms of the pass or the carry or the footwork or the power, the decision alongside it's been excellent for a young player. So sad to see him leave the field as Bloodworth gets back to his feet.
He is going to be okay and allowed to continue. That score made it a really nice tight start to the second half and just gets the contest right on the knife edge.
It's been finally paused, hasn't it? I mean, we said at half-time that Ayrshire Bulls probably started better in terms of offence, but Boroughmuir Bears' defence was excellent and then went ahead. It's ebbing and flowing.
Knock-on advantages with the home side. As Rhys Tate tried to get involved there, stood up to the challenge. Again, needed to go down. Jordan plays it out, that look forward.
Back here.
And they will come back for the penalty.
It's a rolling away penalty again.
Yep.
It's the same one. It's Rhys Tate who makes it a really, it's a big collision.
That passes forward, coming back.
Initially, and then has to roll away, has to get out of there. It's so difficult, but I mean, arguably don't get in there in the first place is a cure, but it's really difficult when you want to make a dominant hit, when you want to try and stop the momentum. It is there on the far side of the picture. And if you get on that wrong side and you don't get out of the way, you just know inevitably it's going to be a penalty against you.
Tony Perham, the referee, has been fairly consistent in that, so neither coach can complain.
Nah, too late, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's the right thing to do. I like it as a law focus to clear that, or to make that breakdown clear as quickly as possible so the ball can be quick.
Grant Stewart is on, he was with a throw, he's got the little offload, trying to find him again. The tackle was made, and you could probably hear the roar from the Boroughmuir bench alongside us.
Well, Cam Jones at the heart of it again. A set play move from the lineup. Grant Stewart peeling round the back inside to Jones, who then tried to offload it back to Grant Stewart, but lost possession. And a good tackle, actually. Was it Brandon Sweet who made the tackle?
Yep.
It was an excellent, because they were retreating. Boroughmuir's line had been broken, they were retreating, but needed a big collision, not only to stop momentum, to turn the ball over, and did that. A loose head prop, an excellent tackle.
You could see Grant Stewart back playing rugby. It's not been the best season for him. Obviously been struggling with injury. Scottish international just released down to Ayrshire to get some game time.
Yes, so dynamic, and that picture of him there coming off that tail line, that's exactly how you would use him. Such good footwork, so quick and powerful, and I hope to see he gets a lot of game time.
The break will come back for Boroughmuir, and they're going to have a little go. Try and reset again. That looked a little bit sore. Coming over there, Josh King guarding things.
No. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. The move back.
And again, I think they'll be grateful just to get their lines cleared on that occasion.
Well, I think it was Scott McGinley who managed to pick from the back of that retreating scrum and did a wonderful job for Boroughmuir. Got them not only the front foot, but actually made 7 or 8, 9 metres in behind the Ayrshire Bulls defence to allow the clearance kick to come in. So, really well done by Scott McGinley.
Boroughmuir are trying to make a change. They're going to hold on. Callum Smith will have to just wait another couple of moments for his debut. And that's nicely taken. Comes through Jones onto Minogue. Minogue. There's McPherson, the skipper. Boroughmuir were quickly on the ball, but it'll be pulled back again onto Minogue, who tries a little clip through. We'll give her Tate the sub, and it'll be gathered. Aaron Tate tried to run through. Where's 25? They're getting involved into the action.
That's good, they're all up.
Boroughmuir somehow escaped with that.
Okay, leave it now, leave it now. Ball's there.
Ball available for Boroughmuir.
Onside. Hold, no.
Rory Swan gets it away to relieve the pressure.
3 green.
It's hard work at these breakdowns, isn't it? It really is. Fighting for the inch or so either side to get momentum, whether you're in the front foot or whether you're retreating. It makes the ball scrappy. You have to be really precise with your ball presentation. So if you're carrying in, get that press of the ball out away for your body, present it for your scrum half. It's so difficult when it's so physical and aggressive around the ball.
Taken by Bloodworth. On to Jones, through to Minogue. Minogue through the hands of Tom Jordan. Dragged down in the midfield. And that's good play by Robbie McCallum. Scott Robson in there as well. Here come the Bulls once more, trying to lay the ball back. McNamara wears 6, just allowed that to come across him. Bloodworth, now with the blue band wrapped round his head. McPherson looked to be dragged down there by Reece Tate. Back out to Tom Jordan. Jordan with the offload, got taken out at the same time. The tackling is ferocious. I suppose when Bulls and Bears go head to head, we should expect that.
He's trying. Thank you, well done. Good roll.
Jones did well. Off onto Jordan. Jordan with the ball behind. That just bounced off the chest and came forwards.
You can feel the momentum building, Paul, can't you? And it's coming from Boroughmuir Bears' defence. The Ayrshire Bull attack on the whole has been pretty sharp, pretty accurate in terms of the pass and the running. But as that phase went on, you just felt the momentum swinging towards the Bears' defence. Reece Tate's come on and already made 3 or 4 dominant collisions. Corey Tate had a big tackle in there as well that stopped the momentum. So it's a story of the game, really, how it's swinging back and forward in terms of momentum and score. There's not a lot in it.
Corey Tate's now got his big brother on the field. Reece Tate with the Glasgow Warriors under 20 international. Had started the last 6 games in the league season. Let's say Ewan Ferry is okay. Although I have to tell you, he's standing right in my way.
Yeah, well done, 8. Play on, guys.
I was intelligent by Tate to hold on, there was nothing on. Swan, back onto Mercer.
Yeah, wingers on.
Waiting for it is Liam McNamara. That's a great little pass out to Cavan. Cavan has magical feet, but the hands let him down there. There's McNamara dropped on it, wearing 6 for the Bulls. Thomas Lambert bouncing away. It's nicely out onto Joe Knight. Knight taken down by Joe Jenkins. Cam Jones had nowhere to go, and Alex Samuel dropped the ball. Well, you could see it, Chris, just down in front of us. The scrum half, little look left, little look right, and actually didn't give the best of passes away to Alex Samuel, who still thinks he should have taken it.
Yeah, it'd be disappointing not to take that, but again, it's a result of the Boroughmuir Bears' defence. This time the kick chase was excellent, and it's applying pressure onto the Bulls to try and clear the lines, to try and get up the field, and somehow it's forcing Bulls to keep the ball in hand, and with that hard press defence in Boroughmuir, they're forcing errors.
Scrum was really good, last one, well done.
Christian Townsend, 1 or 2 players onto the pitch. Tim Brown, the other. Changes being made. I think given it is the first game of the season, we mentioned in the first half there was a couple of warm-up games, but gone to the bench quite early.
I think it's a sign of the quality of having the squads as well, rather than, as well as being early season. There's the Ayrshire Bulls showed that last year. If you rotate your squad, if you use your squad, you can be very successful.
Well, the scrum pressure told Boroughmuir simply could not get that out. They tried, but that is a big win for the Bulls pack.
It's a massive scrum, isn't it? The timing's perfect, and you can see the power coming through. Boroughmuir Bears really struggling.
Forward, Boroughmuir pulling out.
And then pulling out, playing the ball. And that's a clear penalty, and a really dominant shove from the Ayrshire Bulls 8.
Christian Townsend wasn't being kept in. Aaron Tate coming in and just saying hello to Joe Jenkins.
He hasn't seen it, has he?
Yeah, and this is where, one of the facets of the game where the Ayrshire Bulls got a little bit of, I thought, dominance in the first half. This line at Mall, we'll see how this one goes.
Jordan Lanack introduced to the action, appeared in 10 of 11 last season. A single try that came against Heriots, but he's now on, so the half-back partnership fully changed as Alex Samuel takes that one down, and here comes the driving ball, and Boroughmuir are in trouble here. Grant Stewart leading the way. Lanack on to Jordan. Jordan gets the ball away into Glendenning. Glendenning's still going. He's eventually taken down by McCallum. Wasn't held properly. Lanack looking for a way through. He's actually blocked by a Bull.
Onside, Green.
They are holding on here. Round the corner it goes. They want to hold him up. That's exactly what they've done.
Hey, it's held up, guys, clearly up. It's a goal line dropout.
Goal line dropout awarded. I have to say, Chris, I didn't like that because Boroughmuir had too many players there and we're always favourites to hold up here.
Yeah, it's Blair McPherson carries, isn't it? And instead of making that a massive collision, Boroughmuir Bears can just concede possession, almost knowing that they're going to get bodies between the ball and the ground, and you know, well, force the goal line dropout, as I say. Now, we more often than not see these go long. There's no need for it to go long. It only has to cost 5 metres, but more often than not we see it go long, and it sets a counter-attack opportunity for the Bulls.
Townsend involved.
Oh, you made a tackle. No, you've made a tackle.
Tackle made. Lanack gets it away again. Jordan. It's good play. The full-back coming up. It's now with Aaron Tate. Tate trying to get his way through. He's still going. He's going for the corner. That's a terrific try by Aaron Tate. What a wonderful riposte from the Ayrshire Bulls. The long goal line clearance was taken all the way back, and that's the third try of the match for the Ayrshire Bulls.
What's an excellent counter-attack try, isn't it? And it was Aaron Tate's powerful fend that got him away. I think it was from Harry Mercer, and then he had the pace and the guile to finish in the corner. It comes from the goal line dropout counter-attack. This is the second phase of it. Tom Jordan with the distribution there, and then there's Aaron Tate's fend. There it is, the left arm comes out, punches away, and then he's got the gas and the step to finish in the corner. It's a really good finish from Aaron Tate, just on the field, making a big impact.
Got away from Adam Scott at the very end. It's a good finish. Right in the corner it goes.
He's been training with it. Scotland Sevens scored Aaron Tate, and you can see exactly why. Low to the ground, powerful, quick. And that's a really good finish, almost like a classic winger's finish, wasn't it?
That's a good point you make. He doesn't make a lot of himself available to be tackled, does he?
Another player who did really well last year for the Ayrshire Bulls in the Super 6 series.
So Christian Townsend, 14 points in the victory here last season. It's his first kick at goal. Just pulled across the face, so 19 points to 12. Well, we saw 33 games in 2021. 20 were won by the home side, but 9 of the 33 games were decided by 3 points or fewer. 14 of them by 7 points or fewer. So there's been, plenty of good tense games, and this is another one.
Absolutely. And you know there's more to come as well. You get the feeling that it is going to flow back and forward. But Boroughmuir Bears away from home, you feel need to get the next point.
Tim Brown took that down well. It's off to Grant Stewart. Again, McPherson on the carry, but he's given the ball away, and it's gathered by Bain. The white headband belongs to Rhys Tate. Head down, Callum Smith repelled. It's back on the Boroughmuir side. Swan looks ahead. 20 is Jack Fisher. Boroughmuir about to empty the bench completely. The last 2 players to come on. Let's pull back once more. Here's a little opportunity for Joe Jenkins to make the run.
The ball's available. It's available.
And he shouts for the carry, but those who have been on for the full hour nearly are tired as the penalty comes.
He's got to roll, affected the clear out, which lets you win the ball. He has to move. They can't clear out. He's in the way. 4.
Same again.
Move.
So that the player who's jackling the ball, stealing the ball is okay, but because number 4, Bloodworth, hasn't rolled away, he can't reward that secondary player. It's quick on the whistle. It's been consistent, and Boroughmuir Bears have found an excellent touch from that penalty that allows them an opportunity to set up an attack deep in the Ayrshire Bulls 22 again.
Hamish Bain wanders towards like 6'7". He's hard to miss.
You are on your mark. We'll make sure they come up.
Wearing 20 there is Jack Fisher, Glasgow Warriors. And it is up and taken by Fisher.
Ball's out.
The ball is out. It fell behind Swan. He tries to nip round the corner. And easily repelled.
Onside.
Boroughmuir just taking it round the corner. Target man here will be Callum Smith if they can get it back. But
No,
good
they're all up.
counter-rucking
Good counter-ruck.
by the Bulls, but the ball is
counter-ruck.
free. Cavan then has to take it in.
Ball's there. Counter-up was good, all up on their feet.
Well, it wasn't textbook. But the Bulls have found a
Use
way.
it! Ball's there. No, no. Yeah, it was now. 20's onside.
Yeah, that's a good clearing kick. No panic there by the Ayrshire Bulls and their fullback Liam McNamara doing a good job with the fine kick.
Yeah, it's good management really, because left-footed player Liam McNamara drops into that pocket on that far side of the field after a good turnover, and quite composed
Nice,
play
2
really from Ayrshire Bulls.
and 9.
Even though they were close to the line, they manufactured the situation to get McNamara in that position to get it away and off the field, and more replacements for the Bears.
So wearing 16 is Ian Carmichael, who's emergency cover in the squad. As one of the hookers is away on under 18 duty. That's Jenny Blythe-Laft. Take. So Ian Carmichael from the Glasgow Hawks is on the field of play. Mercer, a little pass inside, dropping the shoulder was Rhys Tate. That was lifted high, McCallum.
No, well done, thank you.
There's Mercer trying to take it through the middle. Little pop ball off, that's on to 19, Hamish Bain. Oh, they nearly turned that over.
Oh, I've seen nothing.
Jack Fisher. It is quite ferocious in the midfield at the moment. Pull back, Mercer. That was a brilliant little offload onto Joe Jenkins. Murray Johnson gets the pass away. Mercer, that's going to be given away. That was gifted. Got that all wrong. Glendenning was there. And then taken on by Tim Brown. On to Alex Samuel.
Onside.
Jordan Lanack in at scrum half now for the Bulls.
No hands, no.
Michael
no hands.
Scott. Back on to Lanack. Through the hands of Townsend. Lambert. That might be picked up. It's a loose ball. And the Bears have it. It's a great offload. Now here comes the support.
Still in, still in.
Callum Smith. Murray Johnson at the base.
He was on his feet, first man.
That's an excellent turnover for Jordan Lanack, isn't it? Scrum half, just seeing the opportunity, just that slight
First man on his
opening
feet.
to get in
Holding on.
and win the ball, because Boroughmuir were building a bit of pressure there in the right area of the field from their point of view. There's a speculative offload. Thomas Lambert throwing it out the back door, and then Duncan Munn reacting quickest, and that gave Boroughmuir the opportunity to launch an attack in the Bulls area. But that's Lanack in there as quick as a flash, getting his hands on the ball, trying to lift it. A really important penalty win from the scrum half.
Thank you. Time's off while he goes off, guys.
It's always interesting when you see the scrum half playing the role of the jackal, because often you'll sit back. So if you're going to make it, you've got to get it right first time.
And it's a decision really there, isn't it? It's a clear decision, and they're so close to it that there's almost an innate sense that if they can get in and win it, they will. If they can't, they'll just drop out. They'll take their position, such a crucial position defensively, scrum half, covering chips, filling in gaps in the front field. But if there is that window to get in, they get in and win the ball, and Lanack did it there.
Michael Scott has been replaced by Calvin Henderson. There's a chance for Tim Brown. A 7-point encounter in Ayrshire.
Tackle!
Under a Good Friday dark sky now. Townsend slightly isolated. Jack Fisher took him down. The ball went backwards. That'll come out onto Lewis McNamara. Brown in there again on the clear out.
No lift.
Lanack, the ball is available. Here's Grant Stewart, just runs through Callum Smith.
Yeah, well done, 17.
Townsend, strong pass out wide. Now here's the opportunity. Cavan has to play it back inside via McNamara. Tate going again, he's already scored once. That looked like offside from Boroughmuir. The referee will play a penalty advantage. He's just given a knock-on advantage.
Whoa. No advantage. Knock on.
A little shake of the head. I just wondered if Boroughmuir had been caught offside there. The referee obviously happy that wasn't the case.
I think Jordan Lanark's very happy, but I think it's because he was caught out a little bit. I think Murray Johnson got in behind, almost came for an onside position and disrupted the pass from Lanak that forced them to knock on, because Ayrshire Bulls were in behind another excellent attack involving Cavan and Aaron Tate. This is the end of it. There it is. It's classic scrum half play, isn't it, really, from Murray Johnson, just coming on the blind side and catching Lanak just when he thinks he's going to distribute the ball. So it's if you could sum up a scrum half, that was it. It's a sneaky beat.
And if there's one thing a scrum half hates, it's been upstaged by the other scrum half. Don't like that at all.
We'll watch this scrum closely as well. They're at each other again.
That referee will bring things to a halt momentarily. Well, the Ayrshire Bulls last season, slow starters, lost 3 of their first 4, then won 6 of their last 7. And I'm saying they lost 3 of the first 4. The 4 losses last season, 3 of them earned them losing bonus points, so within 7 points. And they did have heavy defeat against Watsonians, but it was that shadow side, arguably, that started that night.
Crouch.
Tonight, this has been engrossing.
Bind. Set.
And it comes from Lanak, wearing 23. Murray Johnson wears 21 for Boroughmuir, just waiting. They're making a couple of metres. Boroughmuir starting to stand up here.
Still going.
It continues to creep on. McPherson at the back, penalty advantage comes.
Is it stood up? Is it stood up?
And Boroughmuir simply stood up, so the penalty was coming.
You've got the penalty.
Now Chris might ask why the referee didn't tell the scrum half to use that, but they were going forward.
They were going forward. You could use it any time. You don't have to wait until you're told to use it. But obviously once if the scrum becomes dangerous effectively, the referee then has to blow a whistle, and the Boroughmuir are penalised for standing up here. Jordan Lanak, number 23, can pick and go anytime he wants. He waited until just after the whistle.
Guys,
the penalty was there, and I said before about trying to maximise opportunities. I think that is an opportunity where you can really go for it, because you can always come back for the penalty. They've opted for another scrum. Obviously, the Ayrshire Bulls scrum is now dominant, especially in the second half. But there was an opportunity on the front foot ball to strike with probably 3 attacking players down that left-hand side for Ayrshire Bulls, but not to be. They're going to keep it in the scrum and go again.
So all new front rows are now featured. And the penalty comes.
17.
And going down there was Brandon Sweet, just couldn't hold up.
Well, there's a number of penalties coming against the Bears here as well, isn't it? You just wonder.
Take the other at the scrum again, though.
Yeah. It's clever play from the Bulls. They know they've got an ascendancy there, and they've already 2 penalties at the scrum in quick succession, so they'll try and apply more pressure here.
Just 7 points in it. A little under 12 minutes still to play.
Bind.
This is an Ayrshire side who won 4 out of 5 at home last season. Lost their home opener to Watsonians. 5 points.
Okay, use it, not moving.
Staying straight. Now they'll have to use it. Lanak has Jordan outside him. He's still going. Taken down. Driven away off the ball. McPherson was held back. Tate is in there as well. Where's 25? Trying to come round the corner.
No green,
so too is Tim Brown. Lanak plays it wide. Bears are in trouble here. Out it comes onto Tate. If he got it down, the referee is going to have a look, and he's going to speak to his assistant. It is Aaron Tate who thinks he's gone in at the corner.
Bob, I've got nothing. What you got? Try, thank you.
Oof. Well, the assistant, Bob Nevins, in absolutely no doubt that Aaron Tate got that down. It's a 4th try of the evening for the Ayrshire Bulls, who extend their lead with just over 10 minutes to play.
It's Aaron Tate with the second half, just coming off the field. It's an excellent pass from Jordan Lanack. Boroughmuir Bears actually defend the early part of this really well and frustrate the Bulls, and then this flat, hard pass from Lanack there cuts out 2 players. And then it's Aaron Tate wriggling through that challenge, isn't it? Spinning in field from Jenkins' tackle and getting the ball down. Excellent finish again, so powerful, so hard to tackle, low to the ground, and it's a big impact off the bench from Tate. Excellent pass from Lanack.
Cheers for that ball, but I didn't have anything, so thanks for the input. Appreciate it.
Well, it's now maybe a step too far for the Bears as Christian Townsend looks for the conversion. Again, pulled across the face. It's a 2-score game.
Yeah, and you get the sense that Ayrshire Bulls are quite comfortable opposite scrum line out, and they're just trying to grind down the Bears. Some of the Bears' collisions in defence, they were outstanding. Blair McPherson went for the line, was repelled, and it was just that excellent pass, that flat, hard pass that takes the defensive line speed out of it from Lanack that found space for Aaron Tate. It stretched the lead, as you say, 2 tries.
So a bonus point, home win on the cards for the Bulls. Tim Brown takes it. Grant Stewart is going a wonder.
Backwards.
Lovely try, he might get back on the end of that, he's done so, and then coughs it up again. Adam Scott took that into contact.
That side entry, we're coming back.
Come back for the second knock on. Adam Scott nearly got put into Sunday as that one came across.
Alex Samuel, wasn't it? Big tackle from the second row, covering the back 3 player. That's Grant Stewart. Excellent break initially from Grant Stewart. So exactly what we've seen before from Grant Stewart. So explosive with his footwork and his fend and getting through. Then he threw a speculative offload that actually came back to him somehow when the knock on then occurred. You can see the threat that he carries with ball in hand, and it's important for the Bears not to fall off tackles, because if you're just that little bit passive in defence, if you're just not quite set in position, the Bulls have the players to hurt you and find that space in between the defenders and get over the advantage line.
So Murray Johnson getting ready to play the ball in. Off the bench 4 times last season. This is his 10th appearance overall for the Bears. Out they will come. Now here's the chance. It's the first time we've seen Joe Jenkins get the chance to move back inside onto Robbie McCallum. McCallum is trying to get to the line. Robbie McCallum. Well, the flag has gone up. I think he's out in touch. Boroughmuir will celebrate, but I saw the flag of Bob Nevins go up quickly.
I haven't seen the flag. Clear the flag up.
And he's been given in touch.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, it was a brilliant effort from McCallum. Clearly in touch. It's a brilliant effort from Jenkins initially, getting on the outside, ball back inside to McCallum. It's Christian Townsend with that initial tackle then. Is it Aaron Tate? I think it's Aaron Tate and Thomas Glendinning who get back and scramble.
Okay.
Just enough.
Well, I thought he'd scored, Robbie McCallum.
Where you are is great, stay there.
So did I. That was an excellent, because he actually reached out through the tackle to certainly got the ball down. Under control, but must just a touch the line.
Still in.
It's a good take by
Use it, 9.
Alex Samuel.
No. Hold on.
There's the long high kick, waiting for it is Joe Jenkins. He'll take the touch. Tries to run away from Brown. Comes through the hands of Scott. The referee decided that had gone backwards. Bain and Fisher trying to make their presence known. Little offload onto Brandon Sweet. And there's the penalty again. Not rolling away. If there's a theme for this episode, it is not rolling away.
Yeah. And there's consistency there, but there also has to be an element of learning from the players. You have to react. It's not going to change. It's the way the game's going. It's quite rightly the way his game's going. I mean, it's a good tackle by Alex Samuel. He can't really get away but he has to make a better effort than that to be seen to making an effort. I think, in all honesty, it's just sheer exhaustion from the big second row.
Tripped up and then not cleared out, it might have been okay.
He's getting a bit of treatment now.
Tries to bounce back to his feet.
Five, you
Going to give the referee credit. He's talking to both teams. He's explaining why he's given the decision.
The players know as well. The players know. I mean, if you follow rugby, if you watch rugby, that's the penalty that you see so often. And referees are now even better at knowing when a player's been trapped in there or when a player's looking for that penalty.
What's up, guys?
So it's so obvious in the game. But I mean, Alex Samuel's just in desperation to make a tackle. He makes another tackle. I don't know how many he's made tonight, but it must be racking him up. And I think he's just exhausted, but still have to make that effort to roll to the side.
Mark McGinley, who was sitting just to our left, is taken off the tracksuit top. He's having to go back out there. Callum Smith is injured, and that will be the change as Callum Smith is going to be escorted off the field of play.
Okay, guys, bring him back on.
It'll be tough for these props having to go back on after sitting there. You just want to make sure you don't really get much time to warm back up.
None at all. None at all. It's maybe not so bad nowadays. You're not allowed sweeties on the bench. When I played, you would have a belly full of jelly babies. Maybe make it better, of course, but I know, having to get up back into the game and switch on mentally as well, immediately be involved in the line out and winning it.
And he's involved. I tried to get the lift on. Johnston gets it across onto Ian Carmichael. Murray Johnston again, the ball is there. He's getting his arm pulled, gets the ball away onto Rhys Tate. If the Bears could find a way over the line, they would set up a grandstand finish. Here's Robson. Now it's pulled back, little sidestep comes from Jack Fisher. Fisher to ground. Johnston gets the ball across. That's brilliant one-handed, but to the wrong team. And Elias Cavan.
No, don't appeal.
Holds on, and there's the turnover. And with it, that might be the Bears' best chance gone to get within a score.
It's your knee, it's an air knee.
Yeah, it was a speculative offload, wasn't it, from Bain? Actually did well initially to get in between the two defenders and get the hand free, but the passing channel wasn't clear.
Kick chase is on.
Can't push it.
Well,
no, can't shove him.
There was a shove there, and Harry Mercer kept his concentration.
No need for that.
That's dangerous play, that.
It was.
It's dangerous because the ball's in the air, you've got players looking at the ball, and if you push somebody into somebody else looking at the ball, it can be really dangerous, it can be nasty. It'll be interesting to see that again. There's Lanack with it, the high box kick, and you'd imagine, I think it was Harry Mercer who was underneath it just waiting as Thomas Glendinning
It's got a nudge on Munn, wasn't it?
Munn, yeah. Now, we get lucky there because if Munn actually hits Mercer, the two vulnerable players, or players in a vulnerable position because of the kind of uncontrolled nature of it. So Thomas Glendinning's quite rightly penalised there.
Scotland under-20 former Glasgow Hawk, still only 19, learning his way through.
No, release, release.
So Boroughmuir trying to set something up here. 2 scores down. It's a nice little offload as Robson, but he's coughed up the ball, and Tate got there, but the first knock on will go against the Boroughmuir Bears as Mike Johnson and Alex Cavan tangled together.
Yeah, it's just another skill error, isn't it? You can see that the kind of fatigue's hitting Boroughmuir Bears just a little bit as they really try and force it. Still in a good position, still looking ahead to the weeks. The game's coming up. They've still had opportunities here, even when they've fallen behind, to be still in the game. If they were slightly more accurate, they would be pushing the Bulls all the way. But Bulls, on the other hand, are really struggling to get out their own third here. 2-3 kicks from the Lanack have stayed in field, have allowed the counter-attack opportunity from the Bears. Obviously the penalty from the last kick clearance. So there's opportunities here for Boroughmuir, because the Bulls are a bit hesitant really to get out their own third.
In the next minute or so, Chris, you're going to have to pick the player of the match. It's not going to be an easy one. Plenty of good performers all around. That's played back on to Lanack and just thumping off the roof of the stand. So it's the Ayrshire Bulls, the try bonus, up against the Boroughmuir Bears. What has been an intriguing contest next week. You will see on Friday night Boroughmuir against Heriots, the Edinburgh Derby. And Ayrshire will play next Saturday. They travel to Stirling County.
You can see there again just how difficult it was for the Bulls to get, because the Bears scrum was much better there. They got pressure on McPherson at number 8 and got pressure on Lanark's kick.
Now here's the little break, comes from Rhys Tate. Tate trying to come through the middle. Time ticking away for Boroughmuir, but they're not giving up on this one yet. There's the pull back onto Mercer, tried the dummy. Taken down well by Townsend. He'll come out wide. And it'll be gathered in again. And the penalty will go the way of the Ayrshire Bulls. And Boroughmuir's last action here. And again, Cavan involved.
Yeah, it's just another penalty, isn't it? Boroughmuir trying to force it, losing their structure a little bit, and then because there's so many defenders on their feet for the Bulls, they get in over the ball. I think it's Tom Brown,
Cork's,
is it?
Cork's not far off. I'll get confirmation.
Tim Brown, sorry, that
Yeah,
wins
Tim
the
Brown did
penalty
well.
as well, and Townsend can clear. But it's just good disciplined defence on their feet, able to make a dominant collision and then get in over the top of that ball. Well played by the young back row.
Well, they're going to take a while to get up, just 30 seconds or so to go. Plenty of players have played well in this one, Chris, but your player of the match.
Yeah, there have. I thought in the first half, Ewan Ferry did really well for Boroughmuir. I thought Michael Scott and Alex Maguire in the front row for Ayrshire Bulls have been excellent as well. Obviously, Aaron Tate coming on, scoring 2 tries, but the player of the match this evening's number 5, Alex Samuel, 80 minutes for the big second row. There he is, almost winning another line-out, but his work rate, his effort and the tight and the maul and the scrum has been outstanding.
Mercer, here comes the Bears' last stand. Out wide it comes, that takes a bounce. It goes out of play. And the referee will have a look. He's asking if there's time for it to be taken. And the answer is yes. The ball just going out just before the 80. Had ticked through.
Yeah, again, it's another opportunity for Boroughmuir Bears. Just if their execution was just slightly better, they can apply far more pressure. And it maybe is just an example of early season form, but they can take lots of credit and lots of heart from the number of opportunities that they've created this evening. They just need to take more of them.
Stewart into McNamara, it's off on to Brown. Getting the support from Calvin Henderson. Lanack into the middle, that could be an intercept. Handed away, and it will be a try. This could secure a bonus point. Robbie McCallum is trying to go into the corner. Glendinning is with him, and he gets the ball down. And that is a terrific piece of skill from Robbie McCallum. It is a third Boroughmuir try, and it will earn them a losing bonus point.
Excellent try from Robbie McCallum. We spoke about him pre-match about how influential he could be, and this is a really good defensive read. He attacks the space in between the players. He knows the pass is coming. He takes a little bit of risk, but excellent read from McCallum. He has the pace to get there in the 80th minute. Denied a try moments ago, but an outstanding player, defensively outstanding in the first half. And then, I say, under Thomas Clendinning's attempted tackle, Robbie McCallum gets a try this time.
So the full-time whistle has gone, and the Ayrshire Bulls and the Boroughmuir Bears went toe-to-toe, head-to-head, and every other part of the body colliding for what was a terrific encounter between the two. Robbie McCallum on the score sheet eventually thought he should have had a try earlier in the game, but it really was a terrific contest. Chris Paterson and the Bulls coming out on top.
Yeah, I think the Bulls got some dominance with their set piece, and for periods in that match they gave them a platform to score and take control of the match, but there's not a lot in it. We said it flipped back and forward between momentum. It certainly did. I think Ayrshire Bulls had the better of the second half, but Boroughmuir Bears can take a lot of credit, and I think they'll be frustrated at one or two things that meant they couldn't get over that trial in the second half, made one or two mistakes, but two quality sides, and for the first game for a long time they'll be happy with the performances. Obviously Ayrshire Bulls will be happy with the result.
Alex Samuel, player of the match, he was terrific throughout, and we thought he would impress tonight, and he certainly did, and he's been a shrewd piece of recruitment for the Ayrshire Bulls, of course, part of the Scottish Academies with Glasgow Warriors, but he did so well. But I think there's a lot for both Pete Horn and for Graham Shield to be positive about.
definitely. I mean, obviously the result for Pete Horn is excellent. Bonus point victory at home. They'll be frustrated at elements as well. Be frustrated with that concessionary try just towards the end. I think you'll be happy with what the set piece provided. One or two disciplinary issues that they'll maybe have to look at around, certainly rolling away, as we've spoken about all evening. And Graham Shield will be frustrated because it's quite similar to last year. A lot of good stuff just on the losing side this evening, but they're a solid team. There's some of the effort and guts in defence early on in the first half and in long periods in the second half is exactly what a coach wants to see. And they've got a squad depth as well. They're at home next week against the Herets, and they'll look to get back to winning ways.
Well, it was a terrific night's entertainment as the Super 6 Sprint Series got underway at Millbrae, but it's the Ayrshire Bulls who are triumphant by 24 points to 17 against the Boroughmuir Bears. What a great advert for the game and to get things started. Ayrshire Bulls with a bonus point win.
Welcome back. Big win for Ayrshire Bulls tonight. Alex Samuel, you are the FOSROC Super 6 Player of the Match. Congratulations. Fine performance.
Yeah, it's great. I really physical performance from us. It's what we worked at all pre-season, and it's a good feeling.
I have to say, it looked like a pretty physical encounter. There was a lot of kind of needle and a lot of stuff going on between both your sides. I guess you were just all desperate to be out and start the season.
Yeah, exactly. Boys were itching to get back into it, and so there was guys just flying in. It was a really good performance.
And of course, you went behind at the start of the match. You lost the first try before getting back into it. Were you thinking, heavens above, surely we're not starting slowly like we did 12 months ago?
Yeah, I think we just tried to simplify it because we were going out the back too much. They were flying off the line and we were just getting smoked. So we simplified the game plan and got back to basics, scrum, maul, and ground out the win.
So as a player in this team, you're going in as champions. Do you think that puts extra pressure on you guys, or are you just taking it one game at a time?
Not really. I mean, I think we got loads of new boys, so a lot of us have never even won in the jersey, so it's about us going out there at Millbrae and giving it our best.
And how big a deal is it to get the first, it's the first match in the new series and you've got that win and you got the bonus point as well?
Yeah, it's massive. We've been talking about it all pre-season, getting back to those levels when they won it last season, but we're not quite there yet, but I think it was a good step in the right direction.
And Pete Horn, of course, is the new coach here. He was the assistant coach here last year. And he's only just retired from Glasgow. What do you think he's bringing to the squad?
He's class. He gives us loads of freedom to play, and just generally the structures and the detail he gives in coaching is first class.
Well, listen, congratulations, Alex. You are the FOSROC Super6 Player of the match, and we'll get Graham to come in, your captain, to give you the old medal there. No hugs, no kisses? I don't know. Look at that. Congratulations. Well done, boys. We're going to take a short break and we'll do the analysis of this match just after that. Welcome back. Big win for Ayrshire tonight. Fine win it was too, and a hugely fought battle as well. Delighted that Peter Horn is just joining us now alongside Chris Paterson there, and if he needs to get that microphone a little bit kind of looser so we can actually speak to him. But there you go. The flex of the microphone is a little tight, but anyway, let's chat to you anyway, Peter, and say you must be delighted. Good start. It was a tousy battle tonight, but a good win.
It was a good result in the end. We showed a fair bit of resilience in the end of the second half when, things probably weren't going our way too well. We were a bit loose, with the ball and things, but I was proud of the boys digging in, and we got the job done.
And Boroughmuir are obviously a side we know can play great rugby, although they've changed a lot of their squad as well. But they gave you a battle, didn't they?
Absolutely, and we knew that was coming. Like you said, they've got a really good side. They've got a lot of kind of X factor sprinkled in throughout there, and we knew it was going to be tough. So I think they were brilliant at the breakdown. They really slowed us down well. They made it a real dogfight in there, and credit to them. They'll take some beating this season.
It was a real battle at the breakdown, was it? Counter-rucking and hands-on. A few penalties for not rolling away was a consistent theme, but I thought your set piece, especially in the second half, really gave you opportunity to control the game. The scrum got dominant in the second half. The line at maul in the first and second half was excellent. You'd be pleased with that. We ended up probably leaning on it a little bit more than we would have liked in that second half. Like you said, we sort of made a few changes and decided to kind of go there because we had a bit of dominance. I think the boys up front worked really hard. Big Alex Samuel was excellent tonight. Like you said, it's something you can fall back on when things don't go so well, and the boys up there did a really good job, got us control.
You said before the game that you wanted to start off better than you did last year and last season, which was a poor start for the Bulls, but I mean that was great, a great start for you tonight, and a fine win in front of a crowd that were entertained with some decent rugby as well.
Yeah, there was a few really good tries in there, wasn't there? Like I thought Tatty off the bench was brilliant. He had a couple of really good finishes, especially his second last one. I really thought that would kind of spur us on and get us going. But again, like Boroughmuir came roaring back, and like you said, it's job done. You can't be too disappointed. We're getting 5 points to start the tournament, and hopefully get rid of some of the yips about a wee bit of nervousness and things. So we'll be fine.
And of course, you've just retired from Glasgow Warriors and now taking on this sort of coaching role. How important would you say that this league is for the development of young players in Scotland? Because this is a semi-pro league and the boys are doing other things during the day, but they're playing it's definitely a step up from the Premiership. Not quite the Glasgow and Edinburgh standard just yet, but it's definitely a step on the way, isn't it?
I think that's pretty clear to see now. Yeah, like you say, the boys they're big men. They're all working hard in the gym, and like credit to them, like you said, the majority of the guys are working full-time jobs and then they're in grafting after it. They're still getting to the gym a lot and then working really hard in the training field. The intensity that we're training at and stuff, there's certainly not too much difference there from the pro team. So I think it's massive. It's going to be a really good tool, especially for some of these young guys, coming in, playing at that intensity with some of the more senior boys that are kind of used to it. It'll definitely help them along, and hopefully we'll see some really bright careers starting off in the Super 6.
As you say, 5-point win at home. Great thing, a great way to start. Gives you a fixed point to work from as well. You travel to Stirling next week. How does the preparation go from here? Will you have a debrief early on the week and then look ahead, because it's another tough game on the road?
Yeah, like playing on the Friday is good for that, isn't it? It means we've got an extra day. I can spend a fair bit of time going through the video, get everything right, and we'll try and get our review sort of squared away on the Monday night. And then I'll have a chance to have a look over Stirling as well tomorrow, and hopefully have a good idea of the game plan going in. But look, we know what Stirling hold the ball really well. They've got a good attack. They build a lot of pressure through just looking after it. They've got a good carry and clean. Like you said, at their patch, they obviously beat us there last season. So
it was a tight one.
It was,
a really tight one. I remember.
Two last minute scores, one way on the other, wasn't
it? So it was a cracking game, and that'll get the boys going. They won't need any reminding that if we don't turn up there firing on all cylinders, there's no point kind of getting off the bus. They'll turn you over. So it'll be a good challenge, but it's one that we're looking forward to.
Pete, congratulations.
Thanks
tonight.
a lot, guys.
Great start, and thanks for coming and chatting to us live on Free Sports. Well, Chris, let's talk about that second half performance in particular, because obviously they had the advantage. The Ayrshire side had the advantage, but I have to say, I don't know what Graeme Shields' half-time talk was, but they came out of the blocks, did they not?
It started really well, didn't it? That kick from Swan in the bottom corner, the quality chase, it set up the platform that they then scored from. And Boroughmuir, as Pete Horn said, they just didn't go away, and they won't go away. They were so dogged, they were so determined. That was a try early in the second half, wasn't it? Just from a quick tap, but it came from that field position that the kick gave them. It was eventually scored in there somewhere for Boroughmuir Bears, and no one really got a clear control hold of the game in this point, and you know, Bulls eventually did afterwards, but I think it was the pick and go. Was it
Craig Keddy
just scoring there? And exactly what Boroughmuir Bears needed after, you know, the first half, going into half-time behind that field position and that score. But thereafter, I thought Bulls, through their set piece, just took the ascend or set the ascendance in the game.
Of course, you know, rugby's not just a 15-man game, it's a squad game, and of course Pete went to the bench and brought on Aaron Tate, and my goodness, what a difference he made when he came on.
Yeah, he played well last year, Aaron Tate, as well, and this is an excellent finish. The fend, it came from a goal line dropout, wasn't it, and the second phase counter-attack, and it was a strong fend on Harry Mercer, and then he still had a lot to do to go in and out and finish in the corner. Have a look here, just that powerful left hand drive away and then accelerate through the tackle and score in the corner. Now, he's been training with the Scotland Sevens, you can see that. Such a powerful player, great finish, and of course he scores another try slightly later on as well. But even there, that finish, that in and out, that classic kind of swerve to get away from Adam Scott's tackle in the corner. Really difficult for the fullback to make that tackle.
On that camera angle, you can really see it there.
Yeah,
he kind of goes in, feigns inside, and it's
a classic kind of winger's finish, isn't it? You know, accelerating through space and then you know, setting up that defender exactly. It's very difficult with the fullback to make that tackle, but well finished by Aaron Tate.
Absolutely, and his second try of the night again was, you know, using that right wing as a real weapon.
Great pass from Jordan Lanack. I actually thought that Boroughmuir defended this really well. There was a couple of big collisions. Blair McPherson went to the line, got tackled, but then they came going around that same way. Boroughmuir defending on their feet really quickly, but just probably one number short. But the pass from Lanack, really flat, hard across the front of the defence, doesn't give the defence any time to slide, to move off the player in front of you, and then Aaron Tate does the rest. Again, another good finish under a lot of pressure. That pass there cuts out, I think, 2 attackers, a couple of defenders as well, and this time Jenkins can't stop Aaron Tate scoring the corner. Power there. It's actually a decent shoulder collision from Jenkins that Tate does really well to ride and get the ball down the corner. Good, really good wingers finish yet again.
Again, it's great, isn't it? It's like, you know, I guess if you're the coach and you look to the bench and you bring on a guy like that who does such a lot of damage, considering you've conceded a try in the first half and Boroughmuir were coming back into it, you've got to be pleased with yourself.
You do, and it's a nod to the squad. We spoke about squad depth at the start. Paul and I spoke about it in commentary, and you have to use the squad, you have to use the players. It is quite a condensed format, the Super 6 Sprint Series, so the players themselves have to take the opportunities when they come, and Aaron Tate coming off the bench, scoring those 2 tries, made a defensive impact as well. Cavan scored in the first half. A lot of quality back 3 players all across the league, but especially here at Ayrshire Bulls.
Now, you mentioned Robbie McCallum before the game and how much of a dynamic player he is for Boroughmuir, and he got a try just towards the end there, a nice wee interception, and that'll please Graham Shield, I know, because he was frustrated about a try that he wasn't allowed in the corner that he thought perhaps should have stood.
Yeah, this is the one that did stand, and Robbie McCallum, who defended really well in the first half, not only his tackling but his decision making and his reading, is a really important player for Boroughmuir. He reads the pass from Tom Jordan, it just lifts it up into space, it accelerates onto the interception, and then does really well to get away from Thomas Glendinning, who was also excellent in the midfield for Ayrshire Bulls, and dot down the one just before that. We thought Robbie McCallum had scored, but his judge has to be in touch just in the same corner. But you can see how important a player Robbie McCallum is in terms of his defence, but also his attack. That's an excellent finish in the 80th minute, or the 80th or 81st minute, to make the read, to accelerate, to finish. And Boroughmuir, that brings Boroughmuir right back into it. And I think Pete Horn was probably a wee bit disappointed there as well, because that was the last action of the game and he'll be eating away at them. Graham Shield will be disappointed with the result, but that last action will give him confidence as they get a home game next week against the Heriots.
And I guess that's exactly it, because they're a team who are capable of great performances.
They are, and the heart and desire, I know that it's a cliche and it should be there, absolutely should be there, but they had to withstand a lot of pressure from Ayrshire Bulls tonight. It's harder physically to defend than attack because you're always soaking up pressure. Although their set piece struggled a bit in the second half, it actually came back into the game a little bit towards the end. So there's lots of good things for Graham Shield. He'll be frustrated with the result, but he'll be happy to see Robbie McCallum score later on.
Okie dokie. A couple of games coming up tomorrow, of course, in the Super 6 Sprint Series. Let's have a quick look at them. Watsonians are hosting Stirling County, and then Heriots against the Southern Knights is later in the afternoon. It has been a wonderful evening here in Ayrshire, a great win for the home side. They're off to a fine start in this sprint series from both of us. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.